Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and welcome to Hangin with the Poor Typist. You can join us every Sunday, almost every Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. We have our weekly hangouts, and feel free to join us at typepals.com. It's free, so yeah. Let me just open up the chat and go back here, and let's let some people in. There we go. Excellent. We already have quite a few people joining us. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. So just as a reminder, so the difference between Hanging with the Poor Typist and Typewriter Club Live is this is completely unformatted, literally just hanging out. I'll try not to call on anyone. I'll just say hi, and if you want to talk, you can talk. If not, that's fine. I won't. Yeah. It's very casual, very casual. So, yeah.
Oh, camera's on.
Excellent. I see a new face, Colby. Hello.
Hello. Hi, good morning. Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Gregory.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Excellent. Now, I just said that it's very casual and we're not going to ask questions, but since you are new, do you mind introducing yourself?
Oh, not at all. My name is Colby. I live in Central Oregon. I've been a typewriter collector. Well, I got my first typewriter about 15 years ago. Now I have about 7 or 8. I'm worried that I'm on a slippery slope here. I'm currently working on a Royal Portable. I'm bringing this with me. My wife and I are going to Utah for a couple weeks, so I'll be camping and riding on this guy. Yeah, I feel nervous, but I've hung out with you guys on my end through YouTube, and I feel like I know a lot of you. It's very addicting to watch these in the background. Many hours
Aww.
of these in the background. So I'm excited that I plan on being a larger member of this community once I get back. So that's why I've marked no letters right now.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine, and that's why that feature is there. So definitely, but don't be surprised if you receive letters.
Yeah, this sounds like a really fun bunch. I'm glad I met you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, and definitely welcome, and I hope you will come back many times. So definitely, yeah. All right, and I see Brian and Ted together on the same screen. Oh my goodness, my mind is blown. Are you guys on the train right now? Oh yeah, yep, you definitely are. Oh, cool. That's a great view.
Yeah. Watch the 50 side pass the spy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sleeper car steward. This announcement is for my sleeper car passengers. If you have not had a reservation for lunch, by reservation only, please proceed to the service attendant inside of the dining car. She will hand you a lunch reservation.
Do you have your lunch reservation?
We can't hear you. I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay. That's okay. Now we can. Sorry about that.
I was just saying, do you have your lunch reservation?
No. We have breakfast in Albuquerque. We have breakfast.
Oh, okay.
5 in the morning.
Yeah. So,
Well, I have to say this is a first. No one has joined the live stream on the train before, so I'm very excited.
On the way to a type-in. That's where we're going.
on the way to a type-in,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Bill and Kevin,
Yeah.
Susan Cooper. Who else is going to show up there?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yep.
Yeah. That's gonna be awesome. I hope you guys can stream from there. Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool. If not, it's not just take some pictures and record some video, and we'll be good. So
We'll be doing that.
excellent.
Mission.
Nice, nice. So how long is the train ride?
It's been 5 and some odd hours.
It's 6 hours total. So
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the final leg then.
Yeah.
Nice.
you just hop in a plane on the way back though. It's just takes so.
Yeah.
And we've done the train thing, so.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you guys. That's
We're
awesome.
finding that it's going to be difficult to actually type on a train because a lot of people
Oh,
are sleeping.
Yeah, it's just
Oh.
very quiet train.
Yeah.
yeah. They don't have like a noisy car that you can go to.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
one they got.
And I think we still have a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. By the way, I received a letter from Ted,
Oh my.
and I'm wondering how in the world. Let me make myself big real quick here because. Oops, come on. Let's see. Where am I? There we go. Where in the world does someone find a sticker? Focus.
Glittery purple tank stickers.
Cool.
It's a blinged out tank sticker.
Yes.
Where,
I got
where
those
did-
in 2001 from a company that I did a website for,
oh,
sold
cool.
and various other novelty stickers. And I've happened to grab 3 sheets of them. And
Okay.
you are
The camera's not picking it up too well, but it's blinged out. It's lined in gold, basically.
it's lined in gold. It has glitter in it, purple. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a bubblegum military thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Ted.
And I'm answering it as well here on the trip.
Nice, nice.
I think I even got you.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
She's going to.
maybe I'll get him too. Put that in there too.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna be sure and check out the CD-ROM that you included, and I'll be sure and use the Ted Monk laptop that I was gifted. Yeah, I figure it's only appropriate. Let's see.
Indeed. All right. Well, are we gonna?
Well, I think my arm's getting tired.
Yeah, I think his arms get tired. So
Okay, okay.
we're gonna
Well, it's so
sign off.
good seeing you guys.
Probably be back a little later.
Okay,
Oh,
That's
good to see
awesome.
you too.
See you on the
excellent.
flip side.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, excellent. And hello also to Diane and Neil, and I know Christoph is there, and Roger. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. Our temperatures have come down. We're like in the mid to high 80s now, rather than the triple digits. So that's good. And it rained. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I think it was mostly day before yesterday that it rained. Much needed rain, so I didn't have to worry about watering the lawn. Yeah.
Our temperatures have gone down too, and it's been raining for a week. So,
Oh wow.
but it's gonna be dry tomorrow, so I'll have to mow the lawn.
Oh, okay, okay.
Gregory, was some of that rain from the hurricane that came on the coast of Mexico there?
You know what? It probably was. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I'm sure that was. Yeah, because it was actual thunderstorms, and here in Southern California, we rarely get thunderstorms, which is unfortunate because I love thunderstorms. I know that they cause damage and you know they're frightening to pets and children, but I've always loved them ever since I was young. Some of my fond memories are from when I was a kid in Illinois, and they get crazy thunderstorms there. So yeah. So what you drinking, Colby? You drinking some coffee?
Yeah, I usually start with a cup. and then go with 2 and then maybe 3.
Yeah. Well, I drank this about halfway down, and then I refilled it for the live stream. So, yeah.
I got this in your neck of the woods when I lived in Southern California from Joshua Tree.
Oh, cool.
Had this for about 20 years. I like it.
Oh, okay. Where did you live in Southern California?
I lived around about 17 years, actually, anywhere from Irvine to Pasadena, Palms.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved up here to Oregon. I was born in Oregon. I moved up here about 10 years ago.
Ah. And how does it compare to Southern California?
Well, you know, if you have a hobby, or if you have a type of food that you love, Southern California, you can find it.
Yeah.
I love that about it. But you know, I love more of a small town feel. Bend is not a huge city. It's growing, but I heard you guys talking a while ago about how I never really enjoyed driving from one city to the next, and there would be no break, right? It's
Yeah.
just a big patchwork of cities. But here we have 3 that are spaced about 15 miles apart,
Oh, okay.
with beautiful countryside in between, with farms and whatnot. So it's, you know, 3 minutes from my house, I'm already in the farmlands. I would really appreciate that about the area.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do have show and tell of a machine on your time. I can get it out, but one thing I do love about living in Bend is that it's very dry. We're part of the high desert, so I imagine that maybe even extends all the way down to Albuquerque in New Mexico. It's a huge area, and so it's nice to find machines that aren't rusted or have
yeah.
much at all. But just looking, when I find a machine, I like larger standard machines with a wide carriage. And when I find one here, it's hard to say no, simply because if I ever wanted it and it was from even 20 miles or on the other side of the mountains, for instance, the shipping would be ridiculous and it probably wouldn't survive. I'm dealing with a machine that had some damage on its trip. I learned
No.
the hard way about shop goodwill. But yeah, it's very cool to find these machines that are in wonderful working order here in Central Oregon. I don't know. My wife said if I ever get another machine, I made the deal with her with mugs. Like if she gets a new mug, she's got to get rid of an old mug. So I've got the same deal with my collection. If I have a new machine, I just have to figure out where that an old one will go.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've definitely gotten to that point where, well, I actually have a lot of my typewriters in storage now, so it's not nearly as bad as it was. Um, in fact, I'm working on a video where I make a little trip to the storage, and because there was a particular typewriter I wanted to grab out of storage that was inspired by a video that Joe recently made. So yeah, I blame everything on Joe. It's Joe Van Cleve's fault.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
watch.
you said you had something you wanted to show.
Sure thing.
We can make
Yeah.
you do it. Yeah.
I'm calling it right now my white whale. Like I have found the machine I would like to use for a while.
Oh wow, that's a good thing.
It came in this wide box.
Huh. Not sure.
And it's always nice when you open it and you see it looking like this.
Yeah, that's a very good sign.
Olympia Portable wide
Wow.
carriage.
Well,
Nice.
yeah, it's in that unusual category of portable
Yeah.
I have
and
one.
wide carriage. Yeah.
Oh,
This
that's
is the
beautiful.
13-inch. I have the platen out. I'm about to send it to JJ.
Okay.
But yeah, I love it. It has a really nice. Let me look up the type face. I have it here, but
Okay.
that was the third part of this I really liked. And it has math keys. So
Oh, wow.
it's a really beautiful machine. I enjoy using it. The platen is hard as rock. Let's
Yeah.
see. I'm just looking for my information about this one.
Yeah. So is that brown with black keys or green keys or?
It's a chocolate brown all together. So we got brown keys and
Oh,
a brown
cool.
crinkle.
Ooh, nice, nice.
Well, I don't have the information in front of me. It's, I think, a I have it up on the database,
Okay.
1957, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually found on eBay, it's on the way, but Olympia produced postcards at the time. I suppose it'd be easier for the salespeople to walk in with postcards than the
Yeah.
actual machine. But I found a postcard that has this exact machine, same color and everything. So it's in the mail. I thought it'd be cool to have it back here.
Wow.
One thing that intrigues me is this beautiful case. It has a beautiful vinyl inside. And these, let me see if I can share that as well here. See if it catches the light here. It may be hard with my connection, but you can see it has got like this
Oh yeah, I see it.
Fingerprint like
Like a pattern to
texture.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it has these great little tabs here to protect the carriage, which are
Wow.
numbered 459. I don't know if that means anything, but yeah, it's a really nice case. This is the largest machine I have that actually has a case for it. My others are,
Yeah.
40 pounds. But yeah, and this is a pretty cool case.
Yeah, it looks like it's in great condition too.
Yeah, I got really lucky with that.
Very cool.
Well, that's my show and tell.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you. Yeah. We love seeing typewriters. Let's see. Hi, Marvin and Christoph. How are you guys doing?
Hello, I'm
Hello.
fine. I had a great day today.
Oh yeah.
I went to a very, very where the antique shop today. I don't know if I can make some photos here. I'm looking for photos. Yes, I went here in this very old shop.
Wow.
And the inside was pretty a mess.
Oh.
Mess. I have a cool. Okay. This is one corridor, and there was 10 corridors like this inside the shop on a floor full of furniture and of course full of some typewriters, and it's very difficult to show you with the phone. If there was this machine, absolutely insane machine.
What is that?
It's an electric typewriter. I don't know what is for.
Wow.
I think we have a specialist in this channel to say what is it. It was sold 150 euro. It's electric. It's very, very heavy. I don't know. Here in France, we say in kilos, 40 or 50 kilos. I don't know. it's just insane, impossible to carry.
Yeah.
And but I have very sad pictures for you
Uh-oh.
because we got some Hermes Ambassador typewriters, but one of these was broken. Yeah, this one.
Oh.
Yeah, he got this one mechanic, and he got another one electric. I never seen Hermes electric. This one, okay. On the right, Hermes Ambassador electric. If you can see
Yeah.
the green one.
Yep.
But this one was safe in the shelf
Yeah.
because a lot of furniture felt on the shelf and broke a lot of typewriters. And in the mess, I saw a box. I will show you the box, and the box was locked. Impossible to unlock. Impossible to open.
Treasure.
And, sorry?
Treasure to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this box is here. With this one, I booked this one today.
Wow. Azurdi.
Wow, that's great.
And I
Ooh, nice.
yes, very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very clean. The Hermes needs a little clean. I didn't watch the carriage. But the margin works, and well, it's a pretty dirty, but I think I will deeply clean it, and with the guide and the paper of guarantee. Yes, I have a guarantee. I don't have the date on it. No date, no year. That's sad, but this is my fourth Hermes.
Wow.
And if I remember, Roger asked the last time about Hermes boxes. Up, I have Hermes boxes. If Roger is here, because on this one I have the key, but I don't have the key on this one. But I have the brush.
Oh, nice.
And
how did you end up getting the box open? Just keying it open?
Sorry?
You said that when you purchased this, they didn't have the key and it was locked. How did you end up? Did you pry it open?
This
one on the right?
This one wasn't locked, but this one was locked, and I in the shop. You know it was a mess. He got 1,000 of keys, and he got a little box of very, very small keys, and I opened it up with very small keys. I tried, and up it opened.
So you picked the lock.
Yeah, with a key. Yes.
With the key, you picked the lock with a key. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, there's a very good find. A little shock here.
I think that's common though.
a little hurt here, but so good. The margins works. This is very important for me because
Oh yeah.
I have an Hermes with a broken margin, and but a little bit. It's a little bit low.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And very
Christoph?
dirty, very dirty. Yeah, but it will work.
I think Neil has a question for you.
I was just going to tell Christoph that I think that Hermes machine is going to give you nothing but headaches and problems. So I'm going to send you my address and you can send it to me. Okay. I'll help you.
If you want one, I have this one. This is with the one with the broken margin. The margin doesn't work. And
No, I'm just kidding you. That's a great machine.
Yeah.
No, I have to find a place between these three.
Oh man,
Christoph, it looks like you have very sturdy shelves. I've noticed that 2 times in the last year that the shelves that they had the typewriters on collapsed. Like one shop, I think I saw an online documentary, but you walk into their storage and everything is on the ground in ruins because their shelves failed. It's too bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I will return to this shop because this guy got a barn full of things and more than 20 typewriter inside. And I will return in October, I think. But next I have to purchase 2 Valentines at the end of the month. 2 Valentines for me and for a friend. And I will check for another antique seller. He got a lot of machines. I will see, but I love the Remington, and this with I cannot with these metallic ribbon spools.
Oh yeah.
No, I have to find the things, but very clean. I'm surprised. Very clean. Except the H pad. I don't know why the H is on the pad. The H is very dirty, but everything works. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, I like the look of those.
A little clean.
Yeah.
Travel Reader Deluxe.
Yeah.
I think I will enjoy this machine.
Oh,
the outside is very dirty, but the inside is a little some little dirty inside, but very clean.
Are those original spools? Those look beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost look copper.
I will find a new ribbon on because I don't want to trash it.
Yeah.
I will cut a ribbon and place on it.
Yeah. Wow.
Very clean. Huh? If you could see inside the mechanism, it's no dirt, no. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
This is the one that the key was lost? I'm not.
Yes, this is one of the key lost.
So
and when I was so surprised when I opened the box, I saw this. I say, "Wow!" okay. I purchased. Thank you. And I got both for $80.
Okay. Nice.
So you bought it sight unseen then. You bought the one on the right, not knowing what's in there.
Up. Sorry.
If you bought them both for 440, you were buying the one on the right, not knowing what it was, right?
40 and 40.
Yeah, but the one on the right, you did not know what it was until you brought it home, correct?
I purchased it after open the box.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh,
After
okay.
opening the
Okay.
box, yeah.
So you picked the lock in the store then.
because there was so many trashy typewriters like if I like this Underwood.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, and this one, if I find it, because there was it was absolutely a mess inside. It was so crazy.
Wow.
This was the two cleanest machine he sold in the shop. So I will check the next time what he gets in the barn.
Yeah.
I think I will be surprised.
Yeah.
So
I've always been curious why you hear so many people finding typewriters in barns. Like, why would anyone ever store a typewriter in a barn? You know, I don't know.
but this guy,
If it were an attic or a basement,
Yeah, that makes sense. But a barn?
it's not a barn. I don't have the term in English. It's a
Is it more
local,
like
garden shed.
Sorry?
like a shed or something?
shelter? Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
A garden shed, like a little town garden house.
no, it's a building in industrial zone. You know, with foot
Oh.
machine. He put everything inside. Because the guy get his own shop, his father get in his own shop just next to the son, a smaller antique shop, but no typewriter inside, and they both got building inside in an industrial zone, industrial area, full of things and full of typewriters, and he got some ribbons. He sent me some metallic box of ribbon and with the ribbon inside.
Okay.
All the for Underwood or Remington, you know, the metallic box. He sent me. He got this, but I have to check to check it next month.
Okay.
And for Roger, last week you talked about your Hermes and different boxes of Hermes. So now I have three. I have here three type of Hermes, and this one you don't have the key. You have this system.
Oh, yeah.
And I lost the brush. You have the brush here. You have the brush here, and you have no brush here. This is my this is the box of my white. Well, this is the box of my white here. I think it's the last version of Hermes 3000, the very last version.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it.
But that's funny to have three. I don't have place.
Yeah.
Up. Yeah. 1 second, I will move some machines. Okay. I don't know exactly the years of the Hermes, but to the oldest, I think the oldest is here. To this one, I think is second. I know this one, the last one. I think this one is in the middle. But that's very funny to have old models.
Yeah.
All years,
Yeah.
all versions of Hermes.
Yeah. That's definitely a good problem to have.
But I miss the two ambassadors. The electric ambassadors was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But the manual was totally destroyed by the mess. So I have some work tomorrow to clean.
Yeah, you do.
to purchase some ribbons.
Yeah. Excellent. Wow, that's great. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Christoph.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And see you later. Bye bye.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time. Ciao.
Let's see. Hello to Marvin. My goodness, we had crazy news this week. Oh,
Good day, Gregory. How are we doing?
good.
Before I talk relative to slide rules, I mean typewriters. I should like to pay tribute that on Thursday evening, the 8th of September instant at 6:30 p.m., our late most gracious sovereign, Queen Elizabeth II, expired at Balmoral Castle in the 96th year of her age and the 71st of her reign. This event has caused one universal feeling of regret and sorrow to Her late Majesty's faithful and attached subjects and all other Her late Majesty's supporters, to whom she was endeared by the eminent and impressive virtues which illustrated and adorned her character. I am currently writing a letter of condolence to their Majesties, the King and Queen. Unfortunately, I am not using the typewriter in writing that favor because there is a unwritten rule that letters of condolences should be handwritten.
Oh.
Back to the topic of this meeting, I have received very kindly I am delighted to receive the favor from Mr. Andrew Smith of July the 13th. And fortunately, the problem with my Olympia SM3 with this the spool which was unable to return has been fixed by doing a bit of tinkering.
Oh, good.
So I've acquired a new typewriter it is a IBM Electromatic,
Ooh,
if you could call that a typewriter.
of course.
Yes, because some people on the more conservative side
Yeah.
think that electric typewriters are somewhat of a cheat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it produces some noise.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
However, it's downstairs and it's quite heavy, so I haven't
Oh.
brought it up.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Yeah, some of those electric typewriters are pretty heavy, especially the older ones. I have one of the really old electric daisy wheel Smith Coronas, and it's probably the heaviest typewriter in my collection. And it comes in this huge case, which is kind of ridiculous because the handle is always broken. So they're trying to treat it like it's a portable typewriter, but it's really not. But yeah, I know what you mean by the weight of those electric typewriters. Yeah, and I think IBM's in particular are known for being heavy. So,
But I especially like it, the Electromatic, as it was then called, because it still uses a regular spool, ribbon spool,
okay, yeah,
instead of what you need to buy for most Selectrics.
yeah, and I assume it has type bars.
Yes,
Okay,
because these things, the ribbons, how expensive are ribbons where you live, Gregory?
well, it depends on the type, but they're actually pretty cheap here. You can get them on eBay. Definitely for under $10. I've bought ribbons as cheap as like $5. So
Here in Indonesia, we can get a spool for less than an American dollar.
oh wow.
But Selectric ribbons are rather on the expensive side.
Yeah. Those would definitely be less common, and because I think it's safe to say those are not being manufactured anymore, right? Or well, I don't know. The ones for the Selectric 3, they might still be making those. I don't know. Christoph, you had a comment?
Yeah, it depends where you live.
Okay.
Because I live in France, and when I purchase ribbons, I didn't purchase one or two. I purchased for $80 or $60 of things, ribbons, on other things, because
Yeah.
I will not buy one ribbon with the taxes, with the postal fees, and so I need. So now I have a new Hermes. I need a new ribbon. The Remington. I need new ribbons for my new Remington, and for this one here, because it's very special ribbons spool.
Yeah.
And I will buy 5 or 6 units per purchase to have one postal fees, or no. It's better for my bank account. But I purchased on Etsy. The last time I booked from Etsy.
Oh, okay.
It was I don't remember the name of the shop, but Joe Van Cleef and others of the typewriter world said some names, some interesting names on eBay or Etsy, where we can find many things on the internet.
Yeah.
Especially some fits here. People make new fits with new 3-dimension prints.
Oh,
And
okay.
new fits for typewriters.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know Ted Monk has made some of those from molds. So actual rubber. Yeah.
I don't charge for fits, but yeah, I think we have some people here on the site who sold these items.
Yeah.
Marvin, do you know the year of your typewriter, your IBM that you have?
What? Sorry?
I was curious if you knew what year your typewriter was made, the IBM.
It was in the 1930s, I suppose. The person who gave it to me gave a date of 1935, but I am uncertain.
Wow.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So in Indonesia, especially, why typewriter ribbons are on the cheap side is because Indonesia is one of the heavenly places for counterfeit products.
Oh.
And you have counterfeit books, counterfeit textbooks, and you have counterfeit typewriter ribbons. They actually at the shop they refill the ink there and then. And surprisingly, it turns out well.
Wow.
Very surprisingly, it does not differ much from a original British manufactured ribbon.
Wow.
Interesting.
Also, returning to the topic of Her Majesty's passing, previously I had written several letters to Her late Majesty and the then Prince of Wales. I would love to show their replies. However, the envelope said private and confidential, so I don't know if it would be a breach of privacy to show you live, because this is live on YouTube. But it would be interesting to see that last week I had sent a letter to Her late Majesty. I am still wondering how the reply would be, since I am quite certain that by the time it will have arrived, Her Majesty has already expired.
Yes, yes. Now, when you would write to her, would you typically receive a reply?
A 70 to 80% chance, yes.
Wow.
Her Majesty would receive your message, but one of her ladies in waiting would reply to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But you would know if Her Majesty read your message, because it differs, the wording differs. If the Queen read your message, the the lady in waiting would say, "The Queen commands me to inform you that."
Oh,
But if she did not read the message, it's only, "I thank you for the letter you sent to the Queen."
okay. Well, that's good to know. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. My wife follows the royal family a little more than I do. So I found out before she did, and so I told her, and we were both shocked. Yeah, I mean, she was 96, but I don't know. You kind of just assume that certain people will be going, you know. And
I had listened to it live on
oh yeah.
BBC, and when I heard the news, well, the day before, it was all of her descendants rushed to the Balmoral Castle because the Queen was indisposed. But then the unexpected news came, so I rushed to the telly to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, this passing, of course, marks the end of the second Elizabethan age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know what to call this new age.
Yeah. Definitely.
Time will tell what it will be called.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah. We're definitely living through. I mean, you know, obviously all of our lives are part of history, but there's certain events that are especially remembered, and we're living through that, you know, and that's pretty amazing. So yeah.
So thank you, Ruben.
Of course, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
you're right, but this moment will be in the history books for a long time. Some things are just historical in our lifetimes, but we don't know what will be important in 200-300 years. Well, the death of a monarch that reigned so long will definitely be in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yep. When Her late Majesty Queen Victoria passed away, no one knew the significance. But then in the 1940s, we all understood the significance of the Victorian era, and now we make dramas about the Victorian era.
Yeah. 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 Oh, let's see here. I see well, Diane's having some fun cleaning now. She was typing earlier.
Yeah, I'm
Diane.
trying to get some of the gunk out of these letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this is the SG one I received from my church all of a sudden a few weeks ago. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I had the platen replaced and I got it back in, but I noticed the tops of some of the keys had stuff in them, and it's like, well, I got some of it out, but
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, I know it's like toothbrush, but yeah, I'm seeing it on the sides of the keys now. It's like, well, that's kind of yuck, but my fingers don't go on the sides of the keys, so I'm not gonna have such a cow over that.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and you all remember that today is September 11th, and it's like I have a year ago they were making a big deal out of the 20th anniversary, and I bought a magazine that had the 20 years, and I still have a magazine that came out shortly after the event itself, and and it's like I've had it's sitting, it's kind of got buried on my kitchen table, and I see it and I'm like, dang, where'd that year go?
Yeah.
Yeah. seems like yesterday that we were all talking about this, and on the news this morning, they were emphasizing how we should make sure we tell the youth of this generation. And so anyway, yes, I'm wearing my SG1 shirt.
It's very fitting.
Well, I thought so, but it's more because it's the only typing shirt I have. I should see about getting a few other typing shirts.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. I know Curry has some. The what is it? Typewriter Summer Camp 2022.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he has those, and he has a bunch of others as well. So
Uh-huh.
Diane, did I understand you to say you just replaced the platen on your SG1?
On three of the 6 I did, yeah, because I was able to get them out. But yeah, on one of them I could type, and the backing sheet was like the impressions were all over. It was like a player piano. It's like I've actually sent backing sheets to people. It's like, here, feel this and just see how hard this platen is.
Turns into
That was on my double Gothic machine, and it really was that bad. And that's the one that it's like I really had to get that one off. And fortunately, whenever I went to do the platen removal, that one came off very easily. The one I wanted, it's like one I used over here. It's kind of over here behind me. You can't really see it. It's covered up. That one I was not able to get the platen out. So, oh well. But I don't get a headache when I use that one. I could get a headache using the double Gothic very easily. The manuscript one, I also had it replaced. And this one's an Elite that I got from church. It's like, I went to church and I came home with 2 typewriters. One was this one, and this SG1, and the other one was a Selectric 2, which is kind of over at the shop waiting for a clean and service, because I really don't know squat about Selectrics, nor do I really want to learn, to be honest. I just as soon stick with Smith Premier, but hey, if somebody's going to give me a nice Selectric, that's fine too.
Well, that's interesting. You should say that, because I know, well, Anthony talked recently about the 3 Selectrics he acquired, and I actually received IBM Selectric 1 a couple of days ago that I had ordered right after Joe started his videos. And the machine came from a veterinarian's office in Kentucky. So imagine the journey, if you will, from Kentucky to Key West, Florida. And the woman, I bought this on eBay, and the woman said right up front that it had a problem with the return key. And so knowing that, it was a pretty good price, I felt. So I took a chance and bought it, and I started communicating with her about shipping. And she said, oh, I've never shipped a typewriter before. So of course, alarm bells went off. But interestingly enough, I asked her if she would please remove the platen and bubble wrap that separately. And she said, well, there must be some videos on how to do it. So I'll do the best I can. And I couldn't believe it when it arrived. I've never received a typewriter so well packaged. The woman like triple wrapped the machine itself, had taken the platen out and double wrapped that in bubble wrap, and then packed that in a box, and then put that box inside a larger box and put cushion foam around the entire. She should make a video on how she packed the typewriter. So it came no damage at all, and the motor is just as quiet as can be. It's in even better condition than it looked in the photos that she had. It's that exciting tan that they made.
Oh.
But But what she said is true. The return, it's kind of bizarre. You hit the return key and the carrier goes in the opposite direction and stops.
Oh,
And I've watched just about every, because I'm thinking, okay, I'll watch a couple Dwayne Jensen videos and figure this out. Piece of cake. Well,
not so much.
well, yeah. The good news is I know that the function works, right? So, and the carriage works fine. So the carrier rather, and it's lots of free movement and it actually types fine. It's probably something I'm saying it this way because I'm hopeful, but I'm hoping it's something simple, because along the side of the machine, the right side where the linkage goes back from the return button, I follow that to a lever. And if I press that lever down, the carriage returns perfectly and stops where it's supposed to. So, and I've looked at, there's some adjustments there, but I know enough that I better just stop right now until I find out some more, because if I try to make an adjustment that's not necessary, I could end up in worse shape than I am. But I'm still really, I'm not at all put off by the fact that that the return key doesn't work properly, because I knew that up front. And I'm hoping that I've asked Dwayne if he could take a look at, I did a little video and posted it in the antique typewriter maintenance site. So we'll see. Sometimes people there can be very helpful. So I'm hopeful, but I could not believe the wonderful job that this woman did on Pack. I've got to get back with her today and thank her again for it. So
A rare success. The Dwayne usually does answer those queries, Neil. He's very good. I mean, considering he's a professional, and he has a business repairing typewriters. He's regularly on the Facebook groups offering assistance to beleaguered typewriter owners. Glad to hear that you got one. And if that's all that's wrong with it, that's really very minor, shouldn't take much to get it completely up and running, So
I'm hoping what you're saying is true. I'm hopeful that it is something. As much as I spent a good part of the afternoon out on the bench yesterday trying to follow that whole linkage, and I kind of understand how it works. And I've looked at a couple of videos Dwayne has out there kind of on that topic, but not exactly. And I've followed what he's suggested on those, and that didn't have any effect at all. But again, I think the fact that the function happens when you press that lever manually, the carrier does return and respond exactly the way it's supposed to and stops where it's supposed to. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm intrigued by it, and I'm having fun with it. So hopefully, if all else fails, I suppose I could just use it without the cover, reach over there, push that lever every time, but that would be a little inconvenience.
No, but Neil, have you joined the Facebook group for IBM Selectrix, the golf ball typewriter group?
I just did, Daniel. Yeah.
In the files, there's the whole service manual for Selectrix. You know how there's a file tab in Facebook groups? You have to scroll. There's different tabs, about us and everything. Then there's a files tab.
Really?
And then you click on that, and then somebody downloaded like the whole version of the service manuals.
Anthony, I do this manual. You got it. The PDF.
So it's one of those, Neil, it's one of those things that if you may go to the page, like using the index for return carriage or like carrier return or whatever.
Okay.
You might be able to see something there in the text also that would be helpful, and if it's an adjustment, or if there's a particular link maybe that I don't know, that I can only, it's difficult without seeing it, but
yeah,
but there's so many things that could be just a little bit off, and cause the problem. So I would say that have a look. And I was very surprised to see that somebody had taken the time and care to put a PDF, I think, version of this electric. And while we're talking, I'm going to go and find it, because I'm saying that from memory, and it was a long time ago.
Well,
I'm
that should be very helpful. I mean, any information, it would be nice to be able to find the manual for other reasons too, but in particular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just going to go to the Facebook group and confirm that. I'll be able maybe to paste a link.
I gave to Anthony the link of the manual. Anthony got it. It's a 300 pages of manual Celtic 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was just going to say, if you're going to get into the manual, Neil, you want to set yourself some time, you know.
Yeah, but it's just going to the section, about carry return. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying that you need to read from page 1 to
No,
300.
Yeah, I'm hoping that someone will say, "Oh, all you've got to do is just give that screw right there a quarter turn, and that'll solve it." So,
Yeah.
Well, that could be your dream, but maybe the reality is more like it's a little bit more difficult.
yeah.
It's the worst to find out that's the solution after 4 hours of working on a machine, you know?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'd be thrilled. I'd be thrilled. So that's what I've been up to. Like I say, it's awfully fun. I'll show you one thing real quick here that I picked up too. Where am I?
Ooh.
What is it?
It's a stapler, Diane, and it uses staples, and I haven't taken apart yet. Apparently, you can still buy these. They come in a roll, and
Okay.
it's like just a flat piece of wire, and then
Like a spool. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly, yeah. So, and when you press this, obviously, it punches it down, and it works. I've tried it several times, and it creates a staple. So, kind
That's
of,
so cool.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Huh. Neat.
Now that is so cool. Swing
Yeah.
line 790.
Yeah.
It's just like in photocopiers that staple, they also use a spool like that. And I was always amazed when the photocopier service guy would come and he'd take all the covers off of the machine to service it. And then you see that stapler with a spool. I was going like blowing my mind
Yeah.
that it was, and then you have it manually. So I think I'm going to be looking for that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Okay, so I found the file. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
You guys are so great.
Here we go. Now it's the golf ball typewriter group.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Daniel.
good luck with that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I have.
It's like
I
I'm
have
dumping
the
that. It's
Select
like,
2 and
here you go.
a Selectric 1 also, but I have yet to really use either of them because they're both in the shop waiting for cleaning. So
Oh, okay. Oh, we in the YouTube chat we do have Susan Coover. She says good morning. On our way to Albuquerque this morning. Along with we saw Brian and Ted earlier riding on the train to go to the Type in Albuquerque. And M6 Pops says have fun at the Type in. Say hi to Joe and the Bob. The Type. Oh, I guess Bob went too. Oh wow, my goodness, why didn't he take me? Let's see. I heard Ted will be there as well. Let's see. KW3STR says good day, typewriter peoples. And an ink guy. Hey, how are you, Adam? Yeah, very cool. One of my favorite fountain pen channels, an ink guy. So if you're into fountain pens, be sure and check out his channel. Well, you probably already know about his channel, actually. He's like the ink specialist, as his name would suggest. But yes, hello, Adam.
Who's that?
It's an ink guy.
Oh,
That's the name of his channel. His actual name is Adam.
no,
so
I've never heard of the ink guy.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And
Neither have
ink guy. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he has a great channel. He's covered, you know, I don't know, maybe thousands of different inks.
Oh.
Yeah, so at least hundreds, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the thousands, honestly. And Luke says hi. Hello, Luke. I assume this is the Luke that used to join us on our live stream. So hello to you. Yeah, very cool. All right. And I see Kate again. How are you, Kate?
In desperate search of the mute button, or unmute button. I'm doing good. I get to spend a little more time with you today, and today I'm working on my little Smith Corona standard.
Okay.
This needs a little dusting and lubrication.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just having fun with that. And I know I have like half a dozen questions that I can't think of right at the moment. I mostly have questions more than experiences at this point, but thanks for telling us about the golf ball typewriter group, because I do have a Selectric that needs something. I have no, the key suddenly stopped working. Motor comes on, everything's great, but I can't type. So maybe I can find a little bit more about what to do there. Because very short of typewriter repair people in Colorado.
Oh.
Yeah. The one guy I had identified, oh gosh, and I can't remember his name now. We've been emailing back and forth for a month trying to find a time when we can get together, and he's about 100-mile drive away.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a bit of a drive.
Yeah. So got to learn how to do my.
I know. And then you'll be the resident expert.
Oh. Yeah, I'm afraid of that because I still have a full-time job. So I need.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I came in when is it Marvin was talking about his letters to the Queen, and I feel like such a slacker. I mean, all I do is write my friends and family.
Yeah.
Do people do that? Is that something among typing folks that they try to get kind of big names to write them back?
Well, I know
I
many
don't.
people have written to like Tom Hanks, that sort of thing. And several people have received replies from him. So that's the one you usually hear about. I'm not too sure about others though.
I just recently learned that Seinfeld has a typewriter, and that Conan
Really?
has a typewriter that he thinks it's really nice when he's like been hosted by somebody to write them a thank you note on his typewriter, Conan O'Brien. So
Wow.
I must warn you too, if you want a better chance of getting a reply from a member of the royal family, it is usually preferred if you would handwrite your letter, because any typewritten letter can come from anybody, but a handwritten letter is personal. That's how the Queen thinks.
Yeah. That's how she thought.
And she's right on everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, I need to excuse myself. I've got another meeting. I hope to see you all soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marvin.
God save the king.
Yes. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Also, hi to Russ. I know you're joining us very late in the night in Australia.
Yeah, well, it's can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm doing night shift, so it's 3:10 in the morning here,
Oh, boy.
but it's tomorrow for you guys. So it's
Yeah.
it's Monday morning.
Wow.
Yes, I'm on my break. I've just got a few minutes off, but I thought I'd just pop in and say hi. And I just got one quick question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Is anybody got any tips or information on the relationship between the number of columns on the original ASCII screens that used to be 80 columns by 25 when the first computers came out? Was there any linkage between the typewriter and the choice of number of columns on the screen? I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm just wondering why the early computers had 80 columns and 25 lines. And I've noticed on my one typewriter, I see there's about 82 columns. And I thought, is there a linkage between that? And that was a question I wanted to put forward this week, if anybody knows anything about that.
That is very interesting. And I bet Ted Monk would have an answer for us, but he's headed to the type-in Albuquerque.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a correlation, actually.
Right. So there is something, Ross, that's a really great question.
It is.
And the first thing is that the monitor is a later addition to computers that used to read cards and used to print text. So they made the monitor 80 characters because that, my understanding is that the maximum line for programming was 80 characters. So I mean, it also happens that you can usually fit, usually you fit 75 characters on a letter size type of paper sheet because you have margins on both sides, but you can, I mean, a letter size, a US letter size, we have the same size in Canada, but the letter size is 85 spaces. And if you need a margin of 1/4 inch on each side, you're down to 80 spaces.
Okay,
but there, it has more to do with the original computers and the length of the line for programming, I believe.
Okay. I think.
All righty. Well, thanks for that. I've got to get back to work, and yeah, it's great to see everybody. And yeah, I'll be watching the whole episode later on when you're finished. But otherwise, you guys have a great week. Hey.
Thank you. You too, Russ. So good seeing you.
Thanks. Hey, see you guys. Bye.
I have to say that that's one thing I really love about these live streams. We get people joining us from all over the place. It's pretty mind-blowing. It really is.
Well, yes, two from that part of the world today, Indonesia and Australia. That's amazing.
Yeah. And then Anthony all the way over there in Ireland and
Roger in Belgium.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah. Excellent.
I had a question for the group if you had a chance.
Yeah, go ahead.
I took this, Joe posted it not too long ago about getting a piece of rubber. Like this is like less than 1 millimeter thick.
Yeah.
I just got it yesterday. I cut it down the size. Has anyone ever tried this as a alternative to replacing the platen by rolling this in with your paper? I'm just curious on feedback. It's a little frustrating for me.
Joe Van Cleve has done that, and he has a video about that.
Yeah, that's how I learned. I learned it from Joe on his video.
Okay. Other people use this kind of plastic. You buy that at Staples or any other place. It's a clear sheet of plastic. You put documents in it, right? It's a sleeve.
Yeah.
Mine is folded, but disregard the fact that it was folded, and you can put that as well, and that'll serve the same purpose as that rubber. I don't know the comparison between the two. I haven't tried the rubber, but I've tried this, and it works pretty well.
I might try that route. This has been a little frustrating because when it rolls through, unless you have a piece of paper on the back as well, it then touches the rubber and it has a lot of friction.
Oh,
And in fact, this morning before this started, I had my tools in here. I had cut it a little bit too wide and I didn't have it in straight. I almost had to remove the platen to get this
oh
out.
no.
Yeah, so it's a little bit frustrating, but I'm going to give it a go a little longer. But I think I will try that route using the binder cover.
Yeah, I tried that, Colby, and I found it cumbersome would be putting it mildly. Yeah. I could see where Joe was going with it, and maybe it depends too on the typewriter you're using and how well your feeders are. The couple that I tried it on, I didn't have much success, but
yeah, it's really nice to use when you're typing. It's just the side effects of it rolling through has been causing me to rethink using this option.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will use a thicker piece of paper, like construction paper, or one of those, all cotton parchment paper that might be 30-pound weight or more. Sometimes you can also use up to like 60-pound or something like that as a backing paper, and that feeds better than the plastic that I've tried the plastic, right? But I don't use it.
Yeah,
it works, but I just hate the whole thing. So I actually I just put more sheets of paper myself. I just feed just more sheets of the same thing.
I've been used to that, having not replaced any of my platens yet. I have 2 out ready to put in the mail for JJ today or this week. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I've been used to the paper idea, and I might go back to it for a while. It seems to do its purpose pretty well with a bad platen.
I agree with what Daniel said. In fact, that the paper that I found that works well too is that they refer to it as sketch pad paper. It's a little bit thicker.
Oh, yeah.
That seems to work real well.
I should say hello. I came on early. I was really excited. Some new faces here. I tell you the truth, most of you are not new faces to me. I do enjoy watching these videos in the background, and I feel like I found my tribe. So I'm happy to be a part of this. And Gregory, thank you for setting this up every week.
You're welcome, and you're definitely part of our tribe. So
is it Sam? Sam, I am over the mountains here in Bend.
Oh, hey, welcome from Portland. You got the smoke like we have over here?
Honestly, I haven't been outside yet. It's been bad. So yeah, probably. At least it's not as hot right now.
True. Yeah, we had the egg yolk sun yesterday. It just looked like an egg yolk in a sea of cloud.
Oh, wow.
Smoke, yeah.
Smoke, yeah. It depends on the direction of wind, really. And earlier this week, we were getting really bad smoke from the fires south of us, closer to California.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winds shifted, and now we're getting smoke from the fires to the north of us. So it's just a part of the season, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not like 2 years ago, at least.
Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah, definitely. It's just hard to get used to, and I don't want to.
Well, hello from Oregon, then. From the other part of the Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that there's a lot of Oregonians in this group.
Apparently,
Well,
yeah.
there's a couple of us. There's a couple Portlanders here and there.
Yeah. Now, Colby, have you gotten to the type space yet?
The type space.
It's a relatively new typewriter store in Portland.
Oh no, I haven't. Yeah, now I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't been to a typewriter store non-virtually.
Okay.
I love watching the videos. Unfortunately, there aren't any here in town, and I'd have to drive a few hundred miles to get to Portland, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
But
here.
I should actually back up. They do have a bookstore here in Bend that the woman loves typewriters, and she has like 5 or 6. They're just to be, I'm looking at them and like, oh yeah, this needs a lot of work, but it's nice that they have them in there for people to try out.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
hit
not
me
that
up
common.
if you're coming. Give me a call or whatever. I live like maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles from there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of a type-in and have you all come here, but most likely I'll probably be driving somewhere
Ooh.
else.
We have one coming up, I believe October 10th in the Lansu Chinese Garden.
Oh, that's great.
So
My mother is actually in town that week, but that's good to know. And where do we usually find these? Is this going to be in the calendar of events for Type Pals, or is it shared on Facebook?
I have to check. He's from one of the guys I know here, Ethan. Yeah, I can't think of it. It might be like Portland Typewriters. Ethan Jewett. He's well known here in town. But I can get that information. And again, if you want to Facebook friend me or whatever, or however we connect, I can let you know more about it. They just posted it this week.
You might have easier time finding me than for me finding you. But yeah, that'd be great.
Where do I do that? How do I do that?
Well, on Facebook, I've got my name in the corner there.
Yep.
But
Right
if I
in the
got your full
corner.
name, I could do that too.
Sam Bones. Either way, but I wrote it down. We will connect. But anyway, I just popped in to say
excellent.
hi.
Yeah, hi everybody. I will be here for longer, but it's been great to hear all of your conversations. I honestly, embarrassingly, probably listened to about 6 hours in the last week and a half. Just having in the background, you guys are very pleasant to listen to, and you have such wonderful conversations.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Good people.
Welcome, Colby.
Hi, Daniel. I see you there.
Yeah, we've already seen lots of interesting things today and interesting discussion, and yeah, great day so far. Yeah.
Did anybody get a postcard this week from anybody yet?
I
From
got
the
one
last
from you.
page?
I
You
got
got
one
one
from
from-
you, Sam. Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was interesting. I don't know, probably some of the other on here will recognize the name, but you asked me if it's okay to talk about.
Sure.
Yeah. Sam asked me if I knew a gentleman by the name of Will Soto. Well, if you're from Key West, and even if you're not from Key West, if you Google Will Soto, you will find out in short order who he is. I don't know him personally, but he's like an institution in Key West. And yes, he's still around. And yes, he is still walking the tightrope down at Mallory Square. He took a break for a couple of years. I believe he had some sort of injury. And then, of course, COVID and all of that, a lot of stuff was canceled. But yes, he's still down there doing his thing. I believe he just turns, I want to say 70. Doesn't matter what he turns.
Yeah, he's in his
He don't
70s.
spring chicken anymore. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, I was his percussionist in the 90s. I played along with him. I was his soundtrack from about 1990 to 1994.
I'll be darned. Yeah, he's on Facebook.
Yep.
So you should check him out. Yeah.
He's got a book too that he finally wrote about his life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, those were some glory years in Key West.
By the time I got there, it was just starting to change. By the time I left, it had changed greatly. And I was back there. We worked together about 6 years ago. I went down and, they have all those very beautiful, handsome Europeans out there handing out those, oh, you should come in, I fix your wrinkles. And you go in and they do stuff with their little packets of whatever it is to try and sell you a bigger thing. And those packets are strewn all over the streets. There's like, it's just not like the Key West that I knew. And
Well, the
even that
good news on that particular topic is that the community got together and picketed relentlessly in front of their shops and ran them out of town. So
yes.
Yes.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was awful.
You couldn't
but
walk down the
that's what
street without being attacked.
Grassroots people got together and rode him out of town on a rail, as they say.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
That's gone. There's a lot of changes other than that, of course, but
But the crazy stays the same. They're still all the same.
yeah.
So yeah, they're one of my other families, like just, families,
Sure.
like the type people are, you like-minded groups where you're accepted, no matter what your weirdness is.
Right. Well, it's great to get your postcard. I'm curious, it looked as though you covered it with something. It almost felt like it had a plastic cover on it.
Washi tape. This is my father who's visiting. I gotta mute for a moment here.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, so I guess she was saying she covered it in washi tape.
I'm not sure what that is, but
it's like a little decorative tape. They come in all different kinds of patterns and even little pictures on them. They're basically used in scrapbooking.
Oh.
And they come in different widths and yeah. But I think it's a fairly light adhesive tape. So theoretically, I think you could probably peel it off and move it and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But-
it felt almost like saran wrap or something, maybe.
Oh.
I'm not sure what. And it was, I didn't know if she put it on there as a protection, or then she had this other wild looking black and white checkerboard tape around the border. She spent some time putting it together. So it was.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and I should probably mention the next I've finally added the next postcard exchange to the events. So typepals.com/events. Of course, you have to be a member and logged in to access that one. But I did finally add it, and I believe not this Monday, not tomorrow, but I believe it's the following Monday that it closes. Well, actually it's next Sunday that it actually closes, and then I do the name pairings sometime after that. But yeah, I thought I should mention that though. Yeah. Yeah, and let's see, let me make myself big real quick here. There we go. I don't know if anyone saw it back here, but I did get the new book. Oh.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Very,
Yeah, I
very
got
cool.
mine too yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah. It came out a few days ago, and so I was a few days late to the party, but I think
Did you read it yet?
No. Trust me, I have a whole stack of books I'm reading.
I hear you. Me too.
Yeah.
Books are good to collect too.
Oh yeah,
You don't
just
have
having
to
them
read
around.
them.
Yeah, yeah, and they make
So-
great paperweights too. So
Paper weights of paper for paper.
yeah, yeah.
Don't get
So-
me
so
started
tell-
about collecting books. I've got plenty of those too.
Yeah. Don't we all? And I just wonder, anybody from this group has had their submission selected for the book? Do you know? Have you looked at the list of contributors? Has any names?
Let's see.
From the Type Pals or Typewriter Club Live?
Well, of course, Richard Polt has been on here, and of course he's he's the editor of it. So let's see. Well, one of my pen pals, Martha Lee, she has something in here. I don't think she's been on the live stream though. Well, one of the early Type Pals, David Peterson, he has a story in here. Let's see. It's kind of crazy because I don't recognize so many of these names. Like, it makes you realize just how big the typewriter community is. Yeah, I don't think we have too many in here. David Peterson is the only one that I recognized from Type Pals. Yeah.
Coming soon to Canada.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I was pleased to pick that up. It's always nice to see the different typefaces, that sort of thing.
There's a lot of people on Facebook feeds and Instagram and that are associated with typewriters, posting stuff. But I don't recognize the names from here. It seems like as many people as there are, it's still there's so many more that in the typo sphere.
Yeah, definitely.
This is new to me, this book. I didn't realize that it was out, but it looks like it's a series. There's 5 other books. That's pretty cool.
This is the 5th one. And the fun thing about them is so the pages are actually typewritten. It's obviously reproductions of it, but it's the actual typewriters. So you get the different, it's not going to pick it up too well, but you get the different typefaces, and they do identify the typewriter that was used. I think it's typically at the end, like a Remington Quiet Writer
with typos.
No, well, I don't think they have typos. I think they have to be typed, but I think they're pretty strict about not having typos, corrections, that sort of thing. So basically you'll submit like your draft, and then they'll have you type an actual version for the book, and they want it to essentially be perfect. It has to meet very strict guidelines.
It's a pet peeve of mine when I see that someone has created a character list for transferring the typeface onto the finalized draft. So like an A, you can see it has that same shadow throughout the book. So that's interesting. So the page is typed out. It's not using the typeface, right?
Correct.
Or digitally using the typeface.
So someone actually typed every page of this.
That's fantastic.
And it's scanned.
Yeah, and then it's scanned. Yeah. So yeah, I have all 5 editions, and I haven't completely read any of them yet. But that's the thing about short stories. You can just pick up and read a short story, and it doesn't have to be in order, that sort of thing. And there's poetry and artwork in them as well. So, Christoph, you had your hand up.
Yes, does it exist a sort of wish list of interesting books about typewriters? Sort of a Christmas list. what books can you read? These books looks incredible, but for example, an Amazon list of books about typewriters to buy, to purchase. Does it exist a good list about this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm afraid to buy some books too. There's so many of them.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone has like a master list of all the books you should get. Ooh, that's a good one. Let me zoom in on that.
This one's a really nice book.
Is it books about typewriters or books that have typewriters, in the story? Because that's very different. Books about typewriters is what
it's different, but
Colby is showing a book about typewriters.
Yeah.
And then typewriter, the margin release is not about typewriters, but it has typewriters in the story.
Yeah. I would kind of lump them together, actually. I would love to see a master list of like both. Yeah.
I do like the clarification, though. I do love reading the nonfiction history of the typewriters. This is a really fascinating book. I just devoured it. It's really fascinating and great photos in it too. Shows like the royal parachute dropping of the typewriters.
Oh wow!
And they had full access to the royal manufacturing plant. The author, and I think it looks like the book may have been produced by Royal as well. So it's really fascinating with them interviewing the people who have been working on these machines in a very specific aspect for 2 decades, for instance, and photos of them. I'll show a couple here. I've shared some online. There are not a lot of photos. I shared most of them on the Facebook group. This is one of my favorite here. You can see the plane.
Oh wow!
So
plane
cool.
At the top here.
Wow.
And what book is that?
This is The Wonderful Writing Machine by Bruce Bliven Jr., who's only published in the late 50s once. I don't think it had any second printings.
What was the purpose of the airdrop?
To show off the machines.
Who was doing the airdrop? Was it the Army?
Well, no, it was them that they actually purchased the plane, Royal. This was back in, I think, the 20s, so the planes themselves were a sight to see. Not unusual. It was very unusual to see planes in the air back then, but it was fascinating how the men that were hired to be there to open the crates would always go to the ones that landed flat. If they came in on an angle, they knew that the machine was probably not working anymore.
Wow.
Wow. So it's interesting. There's a blog written by Robert Messenger, and Robert Messenger, his blog is Oz Typewriters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oz Typewriters. And Robert has a really good blog entry about the parachuting of Royal typewriters and the whole history and who was the pilot. It was a war veteran and like an ace pilot actually that was hired and so on and so forth. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and it was a bit of a marketing thing to get attention, but it did work. They dropped quite a number of typewriters everywhere to deliver them to the typewriter shops selling them. However, I think some of the best clues I've had about typewriter books have come from Robert Messenger. Robert has done a number of reviews of typewriter books. He has critiqued that book that was produced by Royal as the history at the beginning not being very accurate. The Royal story is correct, but the history at the beginning of that book is not complete. And so myself,
of this one,
yeah.
I would imagine so. The writing is a very dated. The styling of the writing, it took a while to get into that rhythm. It's kind of like listening to, for me, it was like listening to an old 1940s radio commercial, the way I was reading it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, there are some interesting stories, and the way that they're written are quite dated. But yeah, there's some nice tidbits in there.
Yeah.
Deserves another printing with some new information, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering if Richard Polt himself on his website doesn't have, well, certainly in his book, in Richard Polt's own book, he has quite a number of references to other books. But on his website, I wonder if there's a kind of a bibliography, literature review that list. I'm just going to say maybe, but I'm not sure. But maybe what I'm talking about is from memory, from reading his book, where there's a number of other books that are reviewed. But that being said, yeah, Robert Messenger has done has a couple of entries about excellent books, and I highly recommend people to Google his blog entry because it's so well researched and very complete.
Yeah, I'm looking on the classic typewriter page right now. I'm not seeing a list
Yeah.
of books.
Maybe we should create it.
I know, right? There you go.
I remember we have a member who opened his own library. He came on live show on live stream 1 month ago. If
Yeah,
you remember.
that was David Peterson. He recently opened a bookstore. Yeah.
It could be
Where is he
interesting.
located?
He's in Rockford, Illinois.
Not driving there.
I know, right? Yeah.
Shipping.
He advertises his books on Instagram. Oh, it's Maze Bookstore, Maze Bookstore, on Instagram. So he posts a lot of the books on there, and you can like private message him for like a quote or prices or whatever. I put together an order, and I got some Western novels and I think some pulp fiction, that sort of thing from him. So yeah, I wanted to support one of the founding typewriter club live members. So I think it was on like the second or third episode. So that was pretty crazy. Oh, Neil, was it you that was asking about a list of the episodes in order?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, so I did add the playlist. I should probably post it on Type Pals or something, or maybe just send it out in the newsletter or something. But if you go to Type Pals on YouTube, you should see it as a playlist.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so it's Typewriter Club Live from the beginning. That's the name of the playlist. So
oh wow, thanks Gregory for doing that.
Yeah, I didn't forget you.
Could you respond a little quicker next time? It's been a
I
week.
know.
I've asked. That's amazing. No, that's great, because not only now can I go back and make sure I've got each one, but if there's one that has a particular topic that interests me, I can make note of it and go back to it. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're
How
welcome.
many hours is the playlist?
Oh, it's hundreds probably. Because actually, this is a good time to mention it. So on the 13th of this month is the second year that I've been doing this. I started it on my birthday for some reason.
Wow.
So 2 years of doing this, it just blows my mind. And the only reason I've kept to it this long is because you guys are so incredible and fascinating. You guys make this so much fun. So yeah, it's really awesome.
And
Happy
thanks
early
for keeping
birthday,
at it.
Gregory.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big one. So
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have a birthday donut for breakfast.
It's downhill after that.
I know, right? Yeah, it's the big 5-0. So it's pretty crazy. And in my mind, I'm still 15. So
Well, you've learned a thing or two.
I hope so.
Gregory,
Yes,
I switched out my typewriter.
ooh.
I got this the day David McCullough passed away. I was
Oh.
actually hoping for one of machines like this, and I live in a small town in Central Oregon. So to find this just 4 miles down the street
Wow.
was quite lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get any closer, but yeah, it was just, I was mentioning it earlier, Central Oregon is very dry, so the machines tend to do fairly well stored in not a barn, but
Yeah.
stored in a garage or whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I really love using this machine. I just need the A skips, and I know that's an issue with these machines, or rather maybe the user. So I've been practicing my typing. The first time I've done that since I was a kid. You know, the home keys and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I got this for I think about $1 a pound, so $35 or so. Yeah, it's I like machines that are you don't need to put a lot of work into fixing them, but there's something about getting all your supplies out and just really tinkering and cleaning, and I just really love that about finding a new typewriter.
Yeah, definitely,
Looks
definitely.
like it's in good shape.
It does.
Yeah, it has a sticker on it from where it was worked on in Eugene, or Portland rather, which is about 150 miles from here. So it sounds like this machine was purchased prior to the war and spent its time here in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's enjoyable to use.
Now, does that have a place where it lives, like on the desk, or?
That's yeah. I can see why collecting portables is
Yeah.
a lot easier. I see a machine like this, and I know that if I don't get it, it's probably going to end up in a dump. Because who would want to lug around something like this?
Yeah.
It does have a space right now up on a counter. Luckily, I'm a big guy, so I can move this around. But
Yeah.
I have two of these machines. I also have this is 1941. I have a Royal HH from 1956 that also has, these both have long carriages. Oh, yeah, let me try this. Doesn't look at first it's such a huge machine, but it does have I think a 16 or 13-inch platen.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe a little longer actually, but I do like what I've been doing. I'm going on a trip here soon, and I was trying to figure out how to journal. As I've got a shelf here of journals I've filled out.
Oh wow.
I like hiking and traveling, and I usually I'm writing journals all the time when I'm traveling.
That's impressive.
Well, thank you. But I've tried something else. I'm going a much different route. So here's a normal size of journal. I usually have it right here.
Nice.
But I didn't want to have two books per se when I get home. So I decided to go with go big or go home, right? So I've got this ledger. These are vintage ledgers from the 50s, but I have been using them to both write and use the typewriter on. And
I love that.
I'm still trying to figure out the best means of doing that.
You're going to need a bigger pocket.
You'd be surprised as a big man how much I can actually fit in my pockets. I'm like Mary Poppins over here, but that's funny. It just fell when I moved my typewriter. But oh, give me 1 second. Sorry about this.
No, that's okay.
A nice looking royal.
Yeah, definitely.
So I created a little cover. This is the first version. It's essentially plastic, where I can hold my journal like this and write in it. But then I can take it, and I like being creative on how I put it in the typewriter. But I can add to it when I, like, for instance, when we're traveling, getting back to the campground or something, I can just take the journal I had in my pocket and move it directly to the typewriter and back and forth. So I hope to come back and, lay this out flat and put it into my into this for permanent storage. So that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm attempting. I thought you guys might appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's interesting. So how many pages is in the little booklet?
Well, it's just one at a time. So I could pre-fold a couple of these and then have them on the ready.
Yeah.
But essentially, the journal becomes one page at a time, and then I can just, when I'm done, I actually created my own hole punch,
Oh, wow.
so
Yeah.
I can add any type of paper
Yeah.
to the ledger.
Wow.
Well,
And
that's
these ledgers
interesting.
are really heavy duty. They're amazing. I've become a new fan of these, and they just the whole cover just slips right off here,
Wow.
and so you can add and modify and move around
Yeah.
paper anytime you want. But I'm going to try it, and then I'm also bringing along my Rolleiflex 1956 camera. I just bought 20 rolls of film, so yeah, that's the world I live in. I thought I might find my people here.
I use these.
Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, with the like a calendar booklet.
It's like a planner.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a half sheet size planner, and I type the pages. I have like about 4 of these with different subjects. This one's mostly the typewriter stuff. I got another one with my daily journal, but it's the same thing. I can take out the paper, run it through the typewriter.
And you can zip it up so you can hold on to other ephemera or whatnot without it falling out. I love that.
Yeah.
Is that leather? It's beautiful.
Yeah, this one is. This is for my music stuff. So I've got another one here, and I got 2 others in the other room where I've got another typewriter. And so they're I can isolate my different me's, you know, my music me, typewriter me, and travel stuff I got in another place. And mostly I got a big shelf with a whole bunch of I used you've heard of traveler's notebooks before?
Oh yeah.
So in fact, I just got one in the mail a couple days ago. I got a new one. So
square one?
This one is they're
oh yeah,
different size. I just got this, so there's nothing in it, but except the inserts it came with. I've got about 4 of these, and I use them for different purposes. Like I took one of them on my cruise, and that's the one I worked out of. And when I done a couple cruises, and what I would do is take it on the ship and leave it in the room. But then when I go out, I'll take this with me.
Mm.
And
yeah, that's nice.
And then I made this one.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's the same concept where you put you run the elastic through it, and that way you can put new books in it when you get to the end of them.
Yeah, I'm using this used to like hold I suppose you can buy a page like this for stamps. It just has a little area. It's like 4 areas on a page. I cut it, and yeah, I'm really thinking about adding that string down the middle and make it easier to take in and out paper. Right now, I just have to slide it down underneath the plastic, which is a pain.
So what I did was on the other bigger ones, I had made inserts out of cardboard or cardstock. Actually, what I used was the hanging file folders. Those are like perfect to cut it in half and cut them into whatever size your journal is. And then I stick them in. I fold pockets into them, and then I can put them in and I can slide stuff in. In fact, I'll go get one and show it to you. But it's interesting because now I have a place to keep itineraries and stuff that I get for, like, if I'm traveling somewhere and I have to take something. I'll just show you back.
Yeah, I'll show when he gets back. This is my last journal I was working on. I made a cover for it. But yeah, it's similar in style where you have a area in the back. Oh, look at that. It's a typewriter stamp. Have a pocket to put all the loose stuff in as you're traveling, the tickets and whatnot.
Nice.
Business cards at coffee shops.
Yeah.
Hey, good job, Gregory, on splitting the screen in 2. That was cool.
I've learned a few things.
Yeah,
in
no,
2
it's good
years.
because you have two people, so you can see better when Rich and Colby are talking.
Yeah.
So this was from I think this was our last cruise. And you can see the pockets I made here.
Oh, yeah.
And I just made them out of that cardstock from the file folders, and I could stick them in with the elastic. So now I've got a book, and I like to do watercolors, so I put watercolors in here too. And so that's we traveled a lot when I was living in Europe, and it was very handy because I could put my itineraries and all kinds of stuff in there and hold it. But whenever I was out and about, I would either take one of these two, either the leather one I made or one of these other, the passport size. I use this one. This is kind of like a daily thing I use here when I'm just out and about and doing stuff. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got notes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's better. That's better.
And so it's just like little notes to myself, kind of like a field notes kind of thing, which is how I started with field notes, but I like this better. And then this, the only reason I stopped using this so much is because I made it in an odd size. I mean, I have to cut my own paper, and that's what I do for any of these. I don't order paper for it. I make it, and I use different kinds of fountain pen friendly paper and make the folders.
My most recent journal started like this. These are these are really nice. The paper in them I really enjoy. However, I'm not a fan of soft cover books because I'm usually using a journal while I'm hiking or active, and it can get sweaty in my pocket. Yeah. So it became a little bit bigger, but I designed, this is the same journal, but I designed a cover for it, allowing me to protect the book.
Did you take that from a book?
No, I made it myself.
Out of what?
Book making material.
Really? A heavy cardstock and then
correct.
cloth?
Yeah, this is cloth used for making books I found online, and
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, I also enjoy just carrying around for oh boy, yeah, this is tough to show on camera, but you know, sketches and watercolor.
Oh, that's
things
wonderful.
Fall out, but yeah, this has been my style of, you know, writing by hand for years, decades in fact. But I'm trying implementing the typewriter in my travels starting soon. We're going for 2 weeks in Utah, so I'm hoping I'm not taking this, but I'm taking a portable roll. Yeah. Believe it or not, I do actually, you know, usually fit this in my shorts pocket or something. It's a brick, but
yeah.
Cargo pocket.
How are they bound, Rich? Like when you make one, or I know Colby, I see yours how it's done. The last one you showed, that's I get it. But when Rich is cutting his own paper and he's binding them, how are the pages held inside the cover?
I will show you. So this is one of them. This is a traveler's notebook. And this insert that's in it, I made. And what I do is, this one used regular copy paper, but normally I don't use that. And I have some, you can make covers out of almost anything that's a cardstock. This one happened to be from, I think, Michael's. They had some on half sale, but I like to put stickers on them too, so I can personalize them that way. And the paper, the process for the paper is, you can take a sheet of paper and cut it to the right dimensions, and then you have to count out how many you need, and then you fold them. And once you fold them, you make that last cut after you fold it, because if you don't, it won't be lined right. But you fold them and then you cut them, and same with the cover. Now I used to use staples, but the problem with staples is sometimes they get loose. And especially with when you put the elastic, if you put the elastic where the staple is, it's going to rip up. Eventually, it's going to rip up the elastic. Yeah. So what I do instead is I sew them.
Nice.
I just poke 2 holes in it and then you put a thread through about 6 or 7 times and tie it up.
Wow.
And that way they last longer, I guess, you know, because I don't throw these away after I fill them out. And in fact, these journals are sort of, they're not my daily journal. I have an agenda that I made. I should have brought that. I could show you that one. It's the one I use every day, and I use it for work mostly. And I made it out of leather, and I make the calendars. In fact, I'll show you that. It takes a lot of work.
Just a moment of silence here.
It's okay.
And of course, I had to go and fill it because that's me. There we go.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it, Rich.
So this one is one I made about 5 years ago. And it has the same kind of inserts, but a different size.
Oh yeah.
And I label them. So what's unique about this is because I use it for a planner, not a journal. And I make every year one with the months in it.
Ah, I
Oh,
see.
yeah.
This is hand drawn, or
This year and last year I hand drew them, but I used to print them out with Excel, you know, and
Mhm.
it just became too hard. It seemed like it was just easier to hand draw the 12 or 14 months for each calendar. But then you have to label them, but it's kind of a, I don't know, it's just, you can do it while you're doing something, listening to some music or something.
Exactly.
Then I make a daily, a book of dailies.
I see.
So,
Yeah.
and I used to print these out on Excel with specific format, you know, where the times were listed,
Yeah.
and then notes. I wrote notes on it or typed notes on it. And but now it's pretty generic. I kind of know how I like to fill stuff out.
Yeah.
And so I just, on the upper left, I use my appointments. Lower left is my tasks, and some tasks bleed on this side. Or like if I'm in phone calls at work, you know, I put stuff in there so I can find things. And then I got stacks of these. I mean, years of them. I've been doing them. And so this is the one I take to work with me and everything like that. So it's a daily one.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks
Oh,
for
that's
sharing
great.
that, Rich. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
have it.
note. Sorry, I'll just say something quick, Colby, and then I'll shut up. But thank you for showing it, Rich. I note that like me, you like to write on paper that is online, that is plain, and that's how I use my daily agenda is not lined paper, and gives me a lot more freedom to arrange my page like I want, and I find lines are in the way many times. All right, Colby, like you too. I
Yeah,
guess.
you can see, yeah, I hate lines because if I did lines, I wouldn't be able to fit so much on the page. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
only time I add lines is actually what I was just going to show Rich. I put a section in the back since I'm usually, you know, hiking when I'm journaling. I'll create this page again by hand, just a little spreadsheet of the trail, the date, the mileage,
Cool.
stuff like that. Just have it in a little section. Boy, I didn't mean to take over and make this into a journaling group.
Do you
Well,
use fountain pens?
About journaling, I think the last thing is the bullet journaling with the dot grids instead of lines or squares. You get
Yeah.
just points, and you can use it in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I've
it's
used.
a good point. It's a good point, Roger.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. They help you line it up. I used to make them out of graph paper, but like this one actually is made out of graph paper.
Have you used
But
dot grid before?
No, I was trying to just do it cheap, and I found graph paper was easier than plain paper. I mean, I could line things up better and eyeball it. But the
like
only
good.
problem with it is I couldn't really find any graph paper that was fountain pen friendly. And so it would bleed if I use fountain pens on it. But it's just, it's not really journaling, it's just writing stuff down. And so it's not that important, but I still got a couple, not reams, but pads of graph paper that I've got to consume before I get away from it. But
I moved from, I used to like using graph paper, and then I discovered dot grid, which is essentially a lesser of graph. You just need to make the lines in your head rather than on the page.
yeah, it's probably easier to see too. I mean, the lines aren't there, so it doesn't clutter your brain with lines.
Yeah, and when you scan it or when you're looking at it afterwards, the dots just seem to disappear unless you're implementing them in your writing or drawing.
And I use fountain pens every day. I mean, I do have ballpoints, but mostly everything in my daily planner is done with fountain pens. So I use a certain kind of paper when I make my sheets.
Better
and
too.
I also use a labeler a lot. So you'll see a lot of my appointments in here are with a labeler, the different months or the days of the month. So it just it bugs me to see it all scribbled out. So I use a labeler, and then I can, if I have to, I can move an appointment by ripping it off, and it works. Anyway, that's my rabbit hole.
I do have a book. I'm really excited to write to you and hear back from all y'all. I have it turned off for now as we're about to leave on a trip, but I found this book in my collection. It's called The Art of Letter Writing, and it was written in 1867. So I'm not sure if I will date myself if I use this when writing to y'all. But I am curious on, I looked on the website, and I'm curious on how is the letter writing process free for all, or do we have themes that we go by, or how does that process work when we write to someone? Do we
it's free for all, and it is creative as you want, and that's what makes it wonderful.
I heard some people write and then they'll assign that letter to someone, like if they get a letter in, or others write based on the letter. So I guess it's just any way you want to do it.
Oh yeah. Me any way you want to do it, but I have a preference myself for I don't pre-write any letters. I reply to what's coming in. So sometimes there's a dialogue going on, and like most often actually there's a dialogue that is ongoing, and a question that is raised in the letter. Then I get it, and then I answer the question and talk about something else, and then that fuels some other discussion, and there's different people that have a different way of filling the page, and on this group, and Joe Van Cleve did a mail-in video recently about somebody type on the page, and then the page becomes the envelope. You fold it a certain way, that becomes the envelope, and it's sealed with a seal, and so it's fantastic. The creativity of the people is fantastic to see. The people that do journaling, I find, have very, very, very interesting letters, and some of them do little sketches, and it's just wonderful. It's just so much fun to get a letter, and then to get into a little bit of a dialogue with people.
Yeah, basically the way the website is set up now, because when we first started, well, we had Typewriter Club Live, and then people expressed an interest in writing to each other. So I just made a sort of master list of addresses, and I think I included the birthdays for those that wanted to include it. And I would just email that out. But I mean, you had this list of people, but you knew nothing about them really. So when we upgraded to the website, the beauty of it is you can do like the advanced search. Like if you're in the member directory, you do the advanced search, and you can search for all kinds of things. Like if they have a preference for postcards, or you could search for a particular typewriter and see if anyone else is using that typewriter. And so you're no longer writing to people blind. You have like a starting point to a discussion, like, oh, we have this in common, or oh, I've always wondered about this, and you're interested in it, like, I don't know, kiting or boomerangs or something, photography, that would be a very common one in our group, the fountain pens. So that's really the beauty of it. And it really is just a free for all, either you can just wait to receive letters and reply to those, or you can reach out to people. Some people, I changed up the member directory a little bit to highlight different types of people now. So we have people that respond quickly, so quick replies. We have new members. So some people like to reach out to the new members, which is a great thing. What else do we have? We have people that prefer postcards listed on there. Or like postcards, I should say. And a few other, I think I also added international or worldwide or something like that, for people outside of the US, because we are US heavy, but we have more and more people joining from around the world. So that's fantastic. And I thought it would be nice to highlight some of those members as well.
Speaking with, hello, Anthony. I have been enjoying hearing all the talks that you've had in the past. I went to school as an archaeologist myself, and it didn't finish, but just have a great passion for that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
Brilliant. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I think the website has I'm constantly working on it. So that working on the database was or the way the database was displayed, because I wanted to highlight a few other categories of people, just so you can quickly get in there and just click on a name if you want, rather than doing a search or something like that. But yeah.
Gregory, I'm not a paid member yet. I plan on doing that when I get back from my trip, but I've heard talks of a forum. Are those only available for a certain membership? I haven't found them on the website.
No, the forum, you just have to be a member. So when you're logged in, there's the member tab, and it should drop down, and we have the directory, the forum, and something else. Yeah, but it's on there. You just click
I'll
on
look.
Yeah, it's on the members drop down, the forums. They're not like extremely active, but it's a slow but steady participation in there, and some really interesting things. Like we had someone recently offering to give away a typewriter, and so definitely worth looking into. Originally, I also had a public forum, but it seemed a little too redundant, and I decided I wanted it to be a benefit of joining to have a forum. So yeah.
Great, I found it. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't see it earlier. Very obvious.
It's okay. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so today I'm working on a blog post for my blog is poortypist.com, and I've been using my Unis TBM Deluxe, which is the Yugoslavian made Olympia Traveler Deluxe, basically. Now it looks a little orange on the screen, but this is actually my Santa Claus typer is red and white.
Really?
Yeah. So now I did put the orange and white one on my birthday list because my brother-in-law basically asked what typewriter I want, and I'm like, really? But I guess it's a pretty big birthday, I guess. So yeah, he's generous like that. But so I think I might be getting my dream typewriter of the orange and white. So that's
Have you
gonna be-
compared the two brands?
I do have a blue and white Olympia Traveler Deluxe, but it needs just a little bit of work. So it's hard to really compare it right now.
Right. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're essentially the same though. That's what I've heard. So
Is the orange and white one nicknamed Creamsicle? Because it should be.
oh
It
yeah.
looks
Pretty
like
cool.
one of those
Yeah.
popsicles with orange on the outside and ice cream in the middle.
Oh yeah, right out of my
50-50.
youth. Yeah, so there's just something about that one that has always grabbed me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too, but I don't have one.
Yeah. Otherwise you'd send it to me, right?
Otherwise, yeah, I was looking to see if I had one to send you, but I couldn't
Oh.
find it.
I feel like I'm on a slippery slope. The more I learn about the machines, the more I want them. So I've been trying to stay naive,
Well,
good
you're in
place
the
to
wrong
be.
place then. Yeah, because
I'm
we're
trying to rotate mine more. It's just
yeah.
trying to build a habit. I think I'm going to trade my clipper in for something else. Not sure what yet.
Okay.
These are the things we keep telling each other. I'm not going to buy more than 5, and then you get to 10, and then you say, I'm going to keep rotating, and then you get to 20.
But Anthony, I think when you first came on, didn't you just have like 2 or 3 typewriters?
Yeah, and what's your point? And the fact that I now have 10 is how is that relevant?
Well, it's up to 10 now.
I got my
Well,
first.
That
I had my.
includes the 3 broken Selectrics.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I've had 3 for like 15 years, and then I acquired 4 in just as many months.
Wow.
And it's my wife is like, really?
Well, I think the biggest problem in the first place is looking at the damn ads. It's like, just stop looking at the, like when you see, for instance, I have to show you this. When you see this little beauty.
Oh.
Wow. Yes,
Look at that.
it would be hard to say no to that.
How can you not say no? Yeah, or not say yes, I should.
Point. It's like this was. Do you know how much this cost me? €30, which is around $30.
Wow.
Was it 40s or 30s? What is that?
It's 1937. From Ted's website, it seems that the only year they were manufactured was 1937.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Just needed a little bit of a cleaning. It's pretty pristine. It's in really, really good condition.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful little. So it's not that practical to use. It's got lovely action, but I don't know if any of you are familiar with these. To return the carriage, you pull this little lever up and then push across.
Oh.
And it doesn't have a backspace, which is quite annoying because I don't know, but you guys, I make lots of mistakes. But just in terms of what it is and the era and how beautiful it looks, I just really couldn't pass it up, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that's just.
Anthony, where was it made?
Assembled by British labour at the Remington Typewriter Factory in London from parts made in the USA, which is what it says. Is that the paper table? I don't know what you call that, the eraser table. But
Paper table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Great decals.
Yeah, the great details, especially at the top there. Just
these are. But this one is actually smeared, and I'm not sure if somebody maybe tried to clean it at some point. It is a bit smeared, but yeah, given it's 85 years young, so.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I'm surprised that because the paper table or the back, there's so pages will wear paint or whatever. So a decal there is at risk at any time because
the
more pages that you feed into the typewriter, the more abrasion there is to the
Exactly.
thing, but it's I saw it on your Instagram, maybe I Facebook, I don't remember, but I was like, I fell off my chair. It's like, wow, such pristine condition, eh?
I know,
So
and
good for
even
you.
the letters, like some of them are a little bit darkened, you know, they do. And I read about that to get into those is risky. And so I said, well, actually, I'm quite happy that slightly faded look gives it an antique look. But it's, I mean, every single type bar is free. It's mechanically absolutely sound. And the lady who I bought it from, she got it for Christmas at the age of 7.
Oh, wow.
It looked to be maybe around late 30s, maybe early 40s. So she's had it for a long time. She's a writer and was just doing a house renovation and was trying to offload stuff. Initially had it up for sale for 50 and then reduced the price. And I said, no, you definitely can't pass that one up, you know.
Even at
And
50.
did she know the history of the typewriter? Was it bought at a typewriter shop
I didn't get
her?
into a long conversation with her, but I do have her email address, so I could ask, you know.
There is the only reason that I ask is I'm going to get straight to the point is that I have a hunch that sometimes in the past, when typewriters were sold, let's say 30 years ago or 35 years ago, that they might have been refurbished, reconditioned by one of those old typewriter experts, a professional, and they would have done a pristine job. And that's why 1937 would look like that, is that it had been done, it had been redone to bring it back to life. Maybe 35 years ago, it was worth £1, or whatever, or it was given. But after refurbishing, it was worth something more. And so I think that's the key sometimes to those beautiful old typewriters, is that they had been taken care of or they had been refurbished or reconditioned by somebody that really knew their trade. And a proof might be that the platen rubber is soft. It's not hard like a rock. Like mine 1939 Corona Sterling, the rubber is so hard it's not even funny. But if the rubber is nice, that means that maybe it was changed. The rubber was changed, when it was reconditioned.
The platen is hard on it. So
okay.
But
well, hard, yes, but yeah.
I took it off the base. The base is part of the box.
Right.
Yeah.
Took it off the base to basically clean the underside of it and the linkages. Once the dust came off them, they're I don't know if they're sprayed or what way they were painted at the time, but they are again pristine. There's a tiny bit of rusting on the paper guides or the paper supports. It's got the original spools, which are essential because they have the little notches in them that sit into the detents. I just thought from the photographs, I just said that looks superb. So when I went and picked it up, I was delighted. I said very little work needing, and actually the type slugs didn't need. The type is fairly clear as well. So I don't think I'll use it a whole lot, but it's one of those that's a real set piece, a real. If ever I'm having any sort of public displays or anything, or if we have any type ins or whatever, that'll be a nice one to bring along just to show the older technology. And a nice example.
Well, it must have been well cared for, because even if they had refurbished it, in order for the refurbishment to repair a bad one, they've got to repaint it and new decals, and it doesn't seem like that would have gotten to that point. It's just so well cared for. It might have gone back in for tune-ups like it's supposed to, maybe. But you look, there's hardly any scratches on it. It's beautiful. Well, it's well kept, well maintained.
Yeah, just the tiniest amount of grime and dust and a little bit of mold on the type, the space bar and just up here. And that came off just with a damp cloth. I didn't, obviously, I wouldn't use alcohol or solvents or anything on the decals. And it buffed up really nicely. I mean, yeah, I'm really, I had to drive 50
How
or
far?
60 miles to get it, but I didn't mind, to be honest.
How far did you have to travel for that one, Anthony?
That's what I'm saying. About 60 miles away.
60.
But once I got it, then I was convinced I had done the right thing. You know.
Oh yeah.
You're always taking a risk. Well, you're always taking a risk buying a typewriter based on photographs because you know yourself. You buy a typewriter, and in the photographs it looks like the Valentine. The only thing I could see in the photographs when I bought the Valentine was the drawstring was quite obviously detached, but it wasn't broken, which was great. And then it was only from using it that I realized it had several other problems. But I was able to sort them all out myself. That I can't say we had. Just wondering if I could show you this. We can't. Place is a bit of a mess, but anyway, we were talking about this. There's my. Hang on till I just get the camera in position first, and then get the focus. There is the Selectric. I don't know if you can even see that.
Light is not good.
No,
Yeah.
this Electric is down there on the ground, with the case off, and you know, I was looking at the parts. I was seeing if I could get it working, and then after a while, I just said no.
Yeah.
You're done with it now.
This is for an expert. This is not for me. You know, this is, you know. So, fingers crossed, somebody will.
Well, that's a bummer.
I had a general question to the group. How important is provenance to your machine when you get it? I find that the more I know about the previous owner, the more I respect the machine and have some kind of story I think about when I'm using it.
Yes, for me, it's a big thing. For me, it's a huge thing. I have a number of machines where I've bought it from individuals who were the grandchildren or relatives of the original owners, and I've asked about the history. And when I post that typewriter in the typewriter database, I add that information. Recently on this group, I shared the story of a typewriter that I found 5 minutes from my home, which was owned by a writer that was working in my town and working for the government here, the federal government, and was an important figure and so I've added that information to the typewriter database. So I love it when I know like the history. That's why I sometimes ask people about the history, is I really, really like it. And I think it adds a lot of, for me, it adds an element of personalizing it. So I'm the current curator of that typewriter who came from those people, and now I'm taking care of it, and I'm cleaning it, and I'm servicing it, and I'm tuning it, and it's to put it back into shape, and later it might pass on to somebody else and have that history with it. So it's very, very important. I have to run. We're going to visit some friends, and it's already a bit late for me to leave, but it was such an interesting discussion. I'll just quit by saying that I've posted the link to Robert Messenger's blog about typewriter books, and I invite people to, because when this is shut down, I don't think the link is going to be kept in the YouTube. So if you want to just open that and save that page and read it later, for those people that were interested in books. I know Christophe left, and I didn't find the page early enough, but I've just put it there. I might just email Christophe with that link, because he was asking about books.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, so these are things that I think it's a good list that Robert has put together. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting Colby and others today. I see Larry now. Larry hasn't said anything yet, but don't take it personally, Larry. I'm not leaving because you.
I already did. Too late.
Oh.
You missed what he was really saying about you.
Oh, and Daniel, I just put the link in the YouTube chat, so we have it there as well.
Great.
And for someone like me who has watched hours of this on my TV, it's oztypewriter.blogspot.com.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I know that spot.
All right.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Take it
Bye.
easy, Daniel. Have a good one.
See you, Daniel.
Hey, Carlos, how are you?
I'm here.
Excellent.
I heard all this talk about these various notebooks, so I wanted to show something.
Yeah.
This is my contraption. I actually bought it. You can buy these online. And it's similar to what Rich showed. It's like a leather thing. But the nice thing that I like is that it's the size of a half page. So you don't have to like bind anything together. And then for me, I can like print out templates of stuff that I usually use. Like these are like dot grids that I printed. I have some other things that I use here. And then I sometimes use manila folders, or like this time I just use like, you know, these off-white cream paper as like folders. And then over here I have like my projects and so forth. I can keep this open. So the nice thing is that I can take all these out and then lay them out, and then
really
work on my projects and then wrap it back up.
That's
cool. So these are, some of these are types. It's
good that they're loose so you can type on them.
Yeah, so that's what I really like, that I don't have to worry about binding it. And also because I always found with notebooks I would write a bunch of stuff that is separate from each other, and there's no way to organize in a like regular notebook. So this system, I think it's a pastor, I think he made it. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I think they call it Everbook.
Oh, okay.
Is that band attached to it your idea, or does it come
Yeah. So it's back here. So then the fact that you have this band is what allows it to,
I like that,
to keep the papers from falling out. Like it holds from the top and the bottom. And then, you know, if you wanted to, you can put a pencil or a fountain pen or something. Oh, here it is.
It looks like the website might be everbookforever.com.
Yeah. So it's made by Murdy, looks like.
You could do a commercial for them or a video. I mean, that was you just did that demonstration, sold me, you know.
I know, right?
That was really great.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so sometimes I put my typings, like my journal stuff. I have a little notebook that I put, or sometimes, you know, just fountain pens, which is usually like you, Rich. That's all I can use now. I can't.
I like to hold it in one hand and shuffle it around and have, you know, it's very convenient size. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest thing is just like I'll spread out my stuff, and then you know, at the end of the day, I'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
So I like.
I notice I think differently when I'm typing rather than writing, especially when it comes to organizing, because I might take out a sheet and put in a different one I worked on earlier, and I can see how moving into a journaling aspect, you might have that same sort of style, and you'd want a place to put them all together. That's a fascinating book. I like how it has a double fold on each side.
Yeah. One fold. I'll I guess I don't know if I showed that, but just a second.
I think he's trying to share his screen.
I was trying to flip the camera and then I turned off the camera.
Oh, there we go.
So one flap, usually I'll have my templates and then stuff that I already did, like for the previous weeks. And then usually on the other side, it's like my projects and my journal. That's how I organize the flaps. But, you know, you could do.
So what do you
whatever
do
like.
with them when you're done with a given set?
So usually I'll put them like the way I have them organized is usually by like a month. So this is like a project. This is like the month of August. All the stuff that I did for each week, I have it organized like that for work.
You save them?
So this is July. Yeah. I usually put them all in like a manila folder for like the year. So for a given year, I have everything that I did and all my logs and so forth.
It'd be great if you can bind them. You know, I mean, you wouldn't be able to bind them with the single sheets, but having a permanent book for each year or something.
Yeah. I thought about like cutting just the back of everything and then just gluing it, doing like I forget what they call it. It's the way that they bind paperback notebooks, essentially.
Perfect binding.
Yeah, perfect binding. There you go.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I have loose sheets within like a given week. Like this is 1 week, and sometimes I'll put like stuff here. So I don't know how I'll manage that.
I carry with me, or when I'm traveling, not necessarily backpacking, but when I get home, I'll use it. There's 2 different types of tapes. One is a book making tape, which is more of a strip of fabric.
Yeah.
And then there's a page repair tape, which is a really thin paper that kind of disappears when you mend a paper. But those have been helpful for me to add on. I don't like it when things fall out of my journal, but using that to add in, like I'll add in a postcard, which gives me another page to write on and a little image for anyone to enjoy as they're skipping through my journal.
Yeah.
But that's a very cool book. I like that. Thanks for sharing.
So I had taken like what my dog's getting. I had like built a couple years worth of. I showed you this planner that has pages in it, and I was doing like one a day, and front and back, and then but then when I was done with the year, I'd have this stack of typewritten pages, half sheets, and so I've got a couple years or several years of those. And I was toying with the idea of somehow gluing them together and making a book out of them. They're not signatures because they're individual sheets, but
have you heard of perfect binding
yet? I'm sorry?
Have you heard of perfect binding before, Rich?
No.
So that's usually where it helps, at least the way I've seen it. It's basically you get some kind of press or something to press all the back.
Oh, I've seen that.
Pages.
Yeah.
And then you can use. So sometimes they use paper glue, but what I've seen that also works really well, it's just hot glue.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
So what I did was I found a hardcover book at a thrift store. I ripped it out, and now I've got the outer fabric covered cover.
Yeah.
Without anything in it, and I had done a little bit of research to figure out how next to put that stuff in, and then put new cover sheets in, and then the next step would be figure out, well, what is that process where you start with the cardboard and fabric cover it like Colby did, and then put the paper in there and glue it in. I got sidetracked with more important things, so I kind of left that there. But it's kind of like on my radar to somehow store those in a more permanent way.
The way I've been storing, I carry these for years. You know, I've got 40 of them. The problem is that when you put them on the shelf, you have no idea what they are.
Right.
So I started by writing on the other side of them, but then that would affect each page. You'd have a little bit of bleed in of the page. So I found, in fact, I may have made these out of just a Ziploc bag, just a little storage where if it's really bad example here, it's all torn and everything, but essentially I'd be able to put it on a shelf with what I was using it for. And that's how I've got,
You thought of using a labeler? Just print a little label out to put on the spine?
Yeah, that would be easy, wouldn't it? Oh, shoot. My bad.
You could use a
guys are
crayon.
so organized. I strive towards organization, but I'm very far from it. I wish I could say otherwise.
I hate it when I know I have something and I spend an hour trying to find it. Like, why do I even have it if I'm going to spend this much time finding it?
Right.
Well,
You
yeah.
could write on those pages with the crayon, Colby, and it wouldn't bleed in. You just write on the, I mean, really.
Is this experience talking, Larry?
Well, I don't remember doing that, but I probably did. But I probably wasn't allowed to, and I probably had to sit in the principal's office. But yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, using a crayon would probably leave a mark and yet not bleed through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Definitely. I'm wondering if that cover that Carlo showed, because it looked like it was actual leather, and I personally don't do leather, so I'm wondering if they have a non-leather version of it, because that'd be pretty cool. What's that?
I'm still here. I'm still listening.
Oh, good.
So on YouTube, if you search for Everbook, you'll see examples of. So this one I bought from the person that made it, but you can see on his YouTube page that other people have made their own, and some people just take like that faux leather and cut it up to the same spec, which is, it's not that hard, and just cut it so that it overlaps on either end, and then they'll just put a regular nylon strap, and it's a pretty simple concept.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
Learning curve, but you can crack the code on it.
Yeah. I'm sure you can find something on Amazon or something.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Or you could just staple some cloth to it.
Yeah, there you go. What was that, Colby?
I have so many questions. I enjoy being in this group rather than just watching. Makes it easier to
awesome.
ask questions.
Yeah.
But has anyone ever? I saw a YouTube video for taking off glass keys using something like this. Has anyone ever seen something like this?
Is that the toenail thing?
I mean,
it's
it's
used.
used.
I think it's used for removing certain types of windshield wipers or something.
Okay.
Interesting.
Pull a lot with that. That looks like that'll pull. If it doesn't take the key off, it's going to bend the heck out of it.
It took about an hour and a half to use it on the first key.
Oh wow!
And about 15 minutes from start to end on the last key. But yeah, I needed. Someone had spilled something on the keys, and it affected the visibility of the letters, which is annoying. I know we shouldn't be looking at the keys when we're typing, right? But I wanted to have it present a little bit better, so I had removed these. I thought about putting in brand new ones. I see that you can print out a template and do that, but instead I just simply took a razor blade and removed the paint that made up the actual letter, so the paper would then show through, and that tended to clean it up. I wish I could show you. I can't really move my laptop right now, but I found that to be a good solution rather than replacing it with something that you just printed out. I wanted to keep these original keys and the paper legend. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I had fun doing that, many hours of removing just tiny bits of paint, especially off the, some of these like the asterisks. It's really detailed work, but I'm pleased with I'm about to post some pictures on Facebook on the before and after. But I thought I would bring this up. This tool, I wanted the actual tool, but of course those are very, very difficult to find. And I found this on Amazon. All I needed to do is make sure that this lip was as small as possible, so it fit under the metal, but then grip on to the metal of the actual key rather than the top of it.
Yeah.
And then what's also important is I would put a piece of felt here. I should have actually just glued it in, because on the first time doing this, this actually scratched the glass.
Oh.
So what in case someone's curious on what I'm talking about here, you'd place this down on the key, and this device would push down on the flat glass, and this would pull up the metal off of the key, so you can get underneath and get to the actual key itself.
Yeah.
But for what it's worth, this is a good solution. It's just it takes some practice to figure it out.
And you can get that at any auto parts store, pretty much. I mean, that's just a standard puller.
Yeah,
That's cool.
there's a learning curve with it. The person who posted it on Facebook may have been smart by removing the audio from it, as well as the comments. So who knows what people were talking about. I also added in this because I noticed that on the higher keys, it would rub, or when I'd spin it, it might hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
you
I just
get,
wanted to share that with the group. I don't know how many people know about this option for those with those glass keys.
I've never taken a glass key off, but I was amazed that that's what you use, because I didn't think it would be like that. So when you put it back on, does the metal, like the bottom of the chrome part of the metal, just bend out enough so then you put it back on and you crimp it back under? Is that how you do it?
The crimping is the important part. Yeah, I would start with using a small flathead screwdriver and bend out the three little metal pieces that go below the key.
Okay.
And then from there, it should just come off. It depends on how dirty the key is. I've noticed that if there's grime within the key, chances are there's grime within the metal piece around the key, and it could be difficult to remove.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of them bent. I was surprised. They're very sturdy on this Royal 1941. The metal chrome pieces never bent, but they did pop off. And then it's essentially just you put it back on and have to bend by. I would use the top of a plier to generally roll that metal piece back under on all three sides. But I remember someone saying, maybe it was Mr. Monk, yeah, you got to be careful because the more those bend, the more they can just snap right off.
Yeah, man.
So I figured this is one and done. I'm not going back to these keys again.
That's cool. That's 1941. I haven't seen anything out of the 30s with glass key tops. I didn't realize they went. I imagine after 41, they didn't even make the typewriter because of the war.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're glass. I don't know what else
probably
would
are.
be on top.
Yeah, they went to plastic after that. They weren't the clear covers anymore. I mean, they went to just solid keys after that.
Yeah, I see. So if there is a piece of then it would be glass.
I don't think it's always glass. I think they use plastic on some of them. Plastic, clear plastic.
Yeah,
glass. They were all in the 30s, though, weren't they? Even the plastic ones. I don't think they did them later.
I want to say I've got something from the 40s, but I don't, off the top of my head, I don't remember which.
Oh.
The issue I had with some of these is they were scratched, and I couldn't figure out a good way of cleaning them, and I wasn't sure if it was glass or plastic, so I didn't really experiment with more than just some hot water and Q-tips and some soapy water.
Look at my inventory. So you get the award for a typewriter steward of the year.
Thank you.
Right.
By the way, I saw a very similar tool to what you showed. They had posted it on Facebook in one of the typewriter groups, and the one they had was being marketed for repairing or fixing ingrown toenails. But it was the exact same concept. You have the part that pushes down the middle, and
that sounds sadistic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture this tool that would work on your nails that looks like this.
Yeah. It was basically exactly that. So
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Very cool. But it's good to see an actual tool rather than, something that is meant for your toes.
Maybe they use that to hold the person down so they can carve on their toe.
Yeah.
Or for removing molars.
Yeah. Oh my. I did want to pop into the YouTube chat real quick because it's been quite active actually. So I want to try and include them. So we have KW3STR says, do any of you have your own custom letterhead I recently ordered an embossing stamp with my personal seal, and I'm currently designing a letterhead for when I write letters and don't know if it's too much. Well, I've experimented with all different kinds of letterheads, and I think whatever you do is not too much, because it just makes it more fun to receive the letters. That's my personal take on it. Does anybody else use letterheads?
I want to, but I don't know where to start. So that's a really great question. I'm listening.
I do, but I
looking
just
forward to
print my own.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's.
I just have a template I designed in InDesign, and I just print them off as I need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing is that I can print them in any color paper I want. So some of the recipients of my letters know all this, of course.
Or any font.
Yep.
Eric Mondor really has a wonderful letterhead that he's put together. It's beautiful.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that whatever you do for letterhead will be appreciated by the recipient. So then KW continues. The earliest computers like VIC-20 and C64 were 40 columns. The Commodore 128 added 80 column mode, so the 80 columns wasn't directly related to typewriting. Okay, that's good information. Correction, VIC-20 was 22 columns. Mostly it was computer resolution. Okay, excellent. And then M6 Pops was replying, I'm also looking into letterhead. I don't think it's over the top. It's a class act. And then M6 Pop says, someone mentioned the Victorian era, but neglected to cite the typewriter connection. So, well, the connection was, we were talking about the, Queen Elizabeth II and her passing, and the conversation just went from there. But it was especially pertinent because Marvin, who is the one that was talking about it, he's in Indonesia, and I don't know the proper terminology, but they respect, for lack of the right term, they respect the British monarchy. So yeah, there's a deep connection there. So that's how that kind of came up. Then M6 Pop says the facet was designed by Queen Victoria's great grandson. Okay, excellent. There's a good connection. Thank you for that. And I believe that was Luke. I might be visiting Elgin, Illinois, or Elgin, Illinois, probably Elgin, Illinois, and Cranberry, New Jersey for business purposes at the end of September. I should get some typewriter stuff then. Ooh, excellent. Very cool. All right, so we are caught up with those. Diane, do you know if it's Elgin, Illinois, or Elgin, Illinois?
I don't know. I always pronounce it Elgin, but that's the other end of the state. So
it might as well be in another country.
Well, pretty much. Chicago is pretty much its own country. So
okay.
Neil, that's pretty classy. I like your letterhead there.
Ooh, let me zoom in on that.
That's actually Eric's.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yep.
I probably shouldn't be showing that, actually.
Oh, well. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
It's
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he definitely has good letterheads, and his letters are very well typed. I think he gave us a spoiler that he writes them on the computer first or something like that, and then writes them again with the
Neo,
typewriter.
right?
What was that?
Doesn't he use the Neo?
Oh yes. The Alpha Smart Neo. Yeah. I think you're right about that. Excellent. Pretty cool. Yeah, I've experimented with all kinds of letterheads. I have one of those embossers, and recently, and again, it's Joe Van Cleve's fault. I don't see it. Well, it's over there, but so on his mail time video, he was showing a letter he had received, and this person had included a very, very interesting date stamp, which is like a rubber stamp, and you stamp it on there, and it's a universal calendar, and then you mark on it what the actual date is. So I was like, what in the world is that? And so I looked up, and sure enough, I think it was it on Amazon? I think I got it on Amazon. Yeah, it's just a rubber stamp, and it's I better grab it so you can see what I'm talking about.
Colby, this is for you, just so you can see a 16-inch platen.
Be still my heart.
Oh my goodness, let me zoom in on that.
Yeah, did you post that one online, or no? That's a different one. Oh, that's beautiful.
No, I did. I love showing it off.
That's a beast. That is.
When I write down notes on my machine, I write down not only how the footprint of it, but also the wingspan, as I call it. How far is needed to get from right to left on the sheet. And
well,
imagine it's a few feet.
With these little typewriter covers that I got from Bob Marshall, it takes two of them to cover it up.
Wow. You need to make an extra wide one.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned that I told him they don't really fully cover the standards.
Yeah.
I made mine out of a shower curtain.
Oh, cool.
It works.
It
works okay. It does its job, right? It's terribly made. I'm not the best at this, but
the main thing is to keep the dust off. The dust, reason how much dust gathers on a typewriter. The Adler Special that I have is the only typewriter that I have that doesn't have a case. And even if it's there for 2 or 3 days, the amount of dust and dog hair, well, we have 2 dogs, it's just unbelievable. So a cover will help.
Yeah.
Prolong its life.
Yeah.
Just like a good
I have
car.
cats, so yeah.
I made
hair
this one.
remover.
I made
AKA paintbrush.
There we go.
Yep.
You made that one, Larry?
Larry, you made that?
Yeah, on eBay I made it. I want it. I meant to say. That's right. I want it.
Okay.
You were a man of many talents, Larry.
I know.
Singing among them,
Well, yeah, you wait till the last second and you click, your money that you're going to put in. So it's called sniping, I think, or something.
I'm gonna show this thing I was talking about real quick. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
So
for a hot wax, is it?
No. Just a rubber stamp.
Oh, it's like
yeah.
So that's the
what
calendar.
is it? What's the image of? Oh, I see. It's writing.
Yeah. So you have the numbers on the outermost ring. So 1 through 31, and then inside that are the months. So then you stamp it on the letter, and then you just mark what the date is. Oh, and I guess the year maybe.
Very
clever. On there?
Start with 19.
I would hope the year's on there, but maybe not.
Unless you got it new, it probably starts with 19.
Yeah, actually, I don't think it has a year. That's interesting.
In that case, it's truly an eternal calendar.
Yeah. Right. I thought that was pretty cool because
that is cool.
I think this is exactly what that person used when they wrote to Joe Van Cleve. So
yeah, it would probably look like a keyhole printed on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, when he showed that, I was like, I have to have that. That's just too cool. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. There we go. Yeah. So Larry, what are you up to?
I was going to report back to Anthony today about getting off caffeine. I did, I guess. I mean, I'm still suffering, but I haven't had any caffeine since I talked to you, and I haven't had any leg cramps either. So that might have been the trick.
Well, you might need just a period of detox, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I'm still feeling like I'm not awake. Actually.
Well, you're looking fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, that looks are deceiving.
Well,
that's a week now, right?
So after last week's live stream, some of us clicked on the permanent.
Oh, yeah.
And so myself and Rich and Larry, I'm not sure was there someone else who popped in.
I think it was just
we
us.
were chatting away for a while. So
very cool.
We didn't have enough in 4 hours, like, you know, we wanted more.
Yeah.
We solved world peace and world hunger.
All of a sudden I'm standing up because my legs are cramping and I can't, I'm like, oh my God, my legs are cramping. I can't do this. Yeah, I mean, but that wasn't that unusual for me. But now it's like, so far I've gone a week and I'm like, wow, you know, if nothing else, I think it helped. I mean, it may not be a guarantee for life, but it seems to have helped.
Now, by cramping, do you mean like actual cramping, or is it like
Charlie horse type thing?
Oh,
okay. Like, oh, come on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have restless leg syndrome. Oftentimes when I'm in like a relaxed state, like usually sitting, sometimes in the bed, I have this uncontrollable urge to move my legs, and it's like if I don't move them, I will go insane. So it's like you have to move them. And oftentimes I find it happens in like a movie theater. I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I feel this urge to move my legs. So I usually just kind of stretch them, and it's a very bizarre, very bizarre sensation.
My wife has that too.
I have it too, and it's kind of like a dog when they're dreaming, then they dream that they're chasing a cat or something. but I really do have that, and I went to the doctor and he said, well, there's this medicine, and he gave me the medicine, but it might make you have, like, I already have lucid dreams. Oh. And I took it one night and I'm like, I can't handle this. I just was like, all night I was like in another movie, you know. I couldn't handle it. So I'm like, I just deal with it. But I think that has to do with getting cramps too.
Okay. I think Kramer called it the Jimmy leg.
But caffeine stimulates all kinds of stuff in your body, and the doctor's already recommended me not to take it, but not because of cramps, but because of other stuff. So now it's like this, when he said he did it for cramps, I'm like, wow.
Larry, I'm a hiker, and I've learned that when I have cramps, and sometimes quite serious cramps, for me, I eat more bananas.
Yeah, I have every day.
Vitamin K helps with the cramps, I think.
Potassium, magnesium. Yeah, I get plenty of it. I eat very healthy, and but the caffeine, I think I became oversensitive to it in my older age, because I used to drink caffeines in the morning and in the afternoon. I mean, I go to Starbucks after work just every day. And then in the last couple of years, I haven't been able to go in the afternoon anymore. I can't handle it. Not because it keeps me up, it knocks me out. So it's just, it's having an adverse effect apparently. And right now it's just headache and feeling tired because I haven't had it in a week. But every day is a little better, I think, too.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I have to show. Carlos posted it in the chat, but I have to show this picture. Let me share the screen here. Yeah.
Oh my!
Wow.
That is crazy.
Super wide.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That is huge.
I think at that point the typewriter is just ridiculous. It's like it looks kind of silly, actually.
Yeah, I've seen one. I've seen something that long. I think it might have been a Smith Premier that looked more like that.
Yeah.
Meaning more like the Royal 10. So it was much later and it had just the normal keyboard.
Don't they
This
have
is I like using this type of paper. So anything that would fit this, it's great if it's larger. You can get creative and put it in sideways or at an angle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the usage of those really super wide carriages are, those machines. I'm glad that you have one. I can't see a collector having a lot of space for many of those.
Like 3 typewriters wide.
I only have the one in the interest of collecting the whole series, which I still have not done, but
work in progress.
Well, yeah, it's called Finding That Needle in a Haystack.
Yeah.
Which this is I don't see too many Smith Premier 6s around either, and that pretty much is a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
Diane, did you say that you had a Olympia SM3 as well with a long carriage like this one?
I do.
I noticed
it's a green one.
This is my first Olympia. So one thing I really found interesting is showing how to tell how old it is or how well it's taken care of is the little spot underneath that shows where the paint has come off right there on either side. Apparently that becomes an issue with these based on a small rubber piece that goes bad.
Oh yeah, it's
underneath here,
underneath
I think.
there. Yeah, that's the first thing I do on all of my Olympia portables is replace that.
I think I will, but I'm guessing that it probably already has on this machine because I'm not able to replicate any type of clearance issues. So the only thing I can guess, maybe you would know this. Is there another way that could have happened? Could it be that it was switched like this, and when you're switching the case on Olympia, could it be the weight of this larger carriage hitting that, or is it always having to do with?
Definitely if you're seeing paint issues on there, that's definitely due to those O-rings wearing out and flattening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking them out. I'm guessing they were already replaced, but I saw Joe Van Cleve post a video where he held up what looked like some kind of car tubing that he was using, and then
some people do
slicing
that. I just go to Lowe's and I buy some. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, I asked online. I tried to get an answer of the dimensions of that because I wanted it to be exactly like the original if I could, and I couldn't find anybody that knew. So I asked
what machine?
On the SM3.
Well, I can, if they're in good condition. Like I said, I'm guessing that they're replaced. But when I do get around to taking those off, I'm sure they'll come off in one piece. Hopefully.
All I did was get another piece of. I just got washers and put in there, and they worked, so I didn't worry about it anymore. But I couldn't find the right dimension. I mean, if you find it, great, let me know. But
my theory is that they've been replaced since 1956. But
I wanted a schematic or a blueprint for the machine that has that and tells you how big it is. But, and that's what you put in there, and they work.
I've used this on underneath.
Yeah.
Underneath, I've used these.
You stack them up, or is that thick enough?
No, it's.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Yeah,
it's pretty thick.
Yeah. I assume it wider or taller wouldn't hurt anything. It would just help it keep off of that metal.
I don't know.
Right?
Well,
you don't have to have it specific.
You don't want them overly thick, but
what would be the side effect of that?
I don't know, to be honest.
Hypoxia, because you can't breathe as well.
You're up too high. Yeah, you're a little high.
It's a case of I managed to get, I've managed to get over the years of collecting these Olympias, I've managed to get some out reasonably not flat, not squished, and it's like, I went to the local store at the time, and it's like, oh, that looks pretty close,
I was
So-
hoping Joe would be here. I have this Albuquerque.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
nice
you can see how clean this machine is. It's just really
Yeah.
incredible on how, I mean, these are original, or at least they came with the machine, and they still have some cushion to the feet.
Wow.
But yeah, I just this is my, as I said earlier, this is my white whale. I'm done collecting for a while.
We all say that. We all
Till
say
next week.
And then it
Well-
gets to the stage where, you asked Diane there, do you have a wide carriage SM3 in your collection? And you saw she had to think. She's like, oh. When you don't know whether it's in your collection or not, then you know you have a problem,
Well, I asked, I think I heard her chime in earlier when I was showing this off.
I think she did. Yeah. There's the cat now. Larry, I wanted to quickly say to you,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
did some research here online. By replacing your morning coffee with green tea, you can lose up to 87% of what little joy you have left in your life.
Yeah, I remember I used to drink that Arizona green tea. I loved it, and now it's like, because it's got like some kind of fake sugar. I can't remember what it's called in it. And if I drink one now, it just messes me up bad. I can't handle it. But I used to love drinking Arizona green tea, thinking I wasn't reading the ingredients. And once I read the ingredients, like, wow, that's some bad stuff. But
yeah.
Diane, we have the same case, which I guess isn't a big surprise. I'm curious though, on the little rubber feet in the top portion, are there numbers written in pencil on either side? Little thing sticking out that
I never looked, but there seems to be, at least on the one I can see, the one that's in the light. Maybe 335. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never thought. Yeah, that's what it says in the other one. I never noticed that.
I'm curious on, they must have made a certain run of these cases for their 13-inch carriages. I'm curious on if that would be a way of telling how old it is. Like mine has not the brag, but it has a lower number than yours.
No, that's all right. I don't take anything as being bragging.
No, I just love the fact that the serial number is a big draw for me in my brain on how collecting works. It's just fascinating looking them up and figuring out how old they are and comparing them to others. But yeah, mine has written in pencil 459. Did you say? You said 3 something? Maybe yours is lower.
Yeah, 335.
Oh,
who's got the bragging rights?
I guess I bow to you. Let's see.
And mine is an SM4.
Interesting. I imagine the cases must have come from another company, sold along with the Royals.
Is that the case with the standard carriage as well? I have an SM4 here. I'm just going to check.
Well, the 13-inch Platinum is a much larger box. I mean, I don't have a lot of portables, and I certainly don't have a lot of boxes, but I noticed that they're specifically designed for this order.
Machine. Yeah, because you can see, and I can never see what you're seeing. So you can see it has the clear and the set on either side of the space bar, which is
SM4.
Designates it as an SM4.
And there's room for the cat in there too.
Oh yes, his nickname is Typo Kitty.
Oh.
When I first started this hobby, I'd bring a typewriter home, put it on the desk, and he'd jump on the desk and he'd stick his nose in, smell, and he'd stick a paw in. And while I'm trying to type, he's trying to smell and stick his paw in there, and whap.
Cat named Typo.
It wouldn't be any harder than it would be for normal typing, but it's like, cat, get your nose out of here.
Can't control.
Yeah, mine it's got 2 brackets with rubber stoppers on them, but there's nothing written on any of them.
How about that?
And his is curved.
And that's for what model is that for?
It's SM4.
Is it a standard carriage? Ooh, that's a nice one, Neil. I do love that green. Oh, look at that, twins.
Can't see.
Yeah, looks like Neil and Anthony, you had the same. Neil, is yours a little longer there? Is that a 13?
It's a wide carriage, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a wide
never noticed
carriage.
it until you mentioned it, those numbers. Mine is pencil marked 426.
Well, how about that? Where's
This is
where's
my
Mr. Monk when you
SM3.
need him, right? Where's Mr. Monk? We can start something new here.
A new database.
This is my SM3 case.
Oh yeah.
And it's not in good shape at all.
Neil, what was the number on yours?
It's not like yours at all.
420 something.
Was it 423?
426.
Wow, mine's 459.
I wonder, is that a width in millimeters or something? Is it?
I have no
Well, maybe I have the best ability to show the number. But, gosh, there we go. I don't know if I can get any closer, but yeah, I don't have a very good resolution camera on my laptop. But whew.
I wonder whether that's. I just got the measuring tape out, and that's approximately. I wonder whether that's the width of the carriage in millimeters.
Huh.
They're German made, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Germans would have been using metric.
Well, wouldn't it be said though, if
50s and 60s?
If Diane and I have the same model, wouldn't it have the same number then?
I wonder, is there a very slight difference?
Let's see. I don't have a ruler handy. Yeah, I do.
I think it's the birth date of the guy who made the case on mine.
Oh, I'm no use here. This is only in inches.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I usually find my machines at estate sales, and I'll usually find it when I walk into the garage. I'm like, oh, there's one right there. Becoming, it's a weird sensation to have regret when I find a new one, because it means that I'm probably going to have to buy it.
What year is that, Colby?
Mine was 56.
That's what mine is. I was surprised how different the case is, and you're saying it's just because of the wide carriage.
I think it has everything to do with that. Yeah, it's surprising. This is the first wide carriage machine I have that actually has a box for it. Doesn't really make them
always a bonus
affordable.
to get a good case, isn't it?
Oh
It's
yeah.
always a bonus. I mean, if the typewriter's in great shape, it helps enormously in terms of its preservation to have a case that's in good shape,
Definitely. It helps in shipping too. A lot of the especially the ultra portables that came in cases, they arrived beautifully, like from Shop Goodwill or eBay or whatever. But then you get some of the standards that don't have a case, and those are the ones that take the damage.
My case was open outside at an antique store for who knows how long, because you could see everything outside of this antique store was just sitting in his yard rusting.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, I want and it needed the grommets, and it was messed, it doesn't look great, but I got it working. It works. It's a nice typewriter.
Brilliant. You know yourself, everything in terms of dust, grime, caked oil, grease, cat fur, dog fur, spider remains, mouse droppings can be cleaned. But the one thing about a typewriter is, no, do not let moisture get into it. And rust is the killer. Rust is the one that really, really is very difficult to deal with,
Yeah.
You got to take it to Gerald Chaw. You guys know Gerald Chaw. He fixed it. It doesn't matter how rusty or whatever. He's in the Philippines, and they have typewriters that they use for businesses there still, and so he's got a typewriter businesses, and he repairs them for businesses, and he'll take everything apart and clean everything and send them out to the platers. Even the individual type bars will send to the platers, and it's amazing. It comes back looking new. I've never seen him not be able to fix something. Not to say that there's something that he can't, but things people say, oh, that's a boat anchor. It's like, no, Gerald can probably fix it.
I watched a video on YouTube in the past week of a typewriter restoration, and I'm pretty sure it's an Olympia SM. Not sure, it might be a 3. Well, I'm going to share the link in the comments. It's just a simply unbelievable transformation. And also, when you see the typewriter before the restoration, you just say, no way, throw that in the dump. That's not, you know, how it's even possible to retrieve it from the condition that it's in. But
sorry,
he takes the whole thing apart piece by piece and screw by screw, and it's
I love videos like that. I watch videos like that for furniture. Like some guy buys some mid-century modern furniture and it looks horrible, and 30 minutes later it's just an amazing new piece of. Yeah, you know, it's the more I learn about typewriters, the more I'm surprised they're not, you know, I shouldn't say this, but priced higher. You know, they're just such amazing machines. They've lasted a century and with very little problems. It's just amazing to find them for what I consider a good price.
When you made $4 a week working back in the 40s, you know, that's probably, they could afford it. You couldn't make one now. I mean, you can make a 3D printed piece of crap or whatever, or you know.
You mean the new Royals? No,
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, however they make them, but you know, made on the kitchen table, like Ted was saying, or seriously, and or you know, bend the metal by hand, but there's nothing like the way they used to do it. Nobody could afford the machinery and the personnel to work on them.
Well, I think the mass production of these things just boggles my mind when you go back to the 30s, the 40s, maybe the 20s, and they had such tight tolerances for these, all these little individual pieces, and yet there's still these things working. You know, I mean, anything you make in the last 10 years isn't working. You know,
I showed this book earlier, but yeah, I was really enlightened by the process at Royal. It makes sense now. I just didn't realize how many man and woman hours are spent on each of these machines before they even reach the public.
Every little spring, every little piece of metal, every washer, everything, the tolerances on all the operating pieces. I mean, they're like cars, you know, but it's just amazing how well they've not only put together, but kept up. They still work. That's just boggles my mind.
When you think about how they were designed in the era before computer-aided design, you know.
Oh yeah, the way we got.
This is a Department 10C at Royal, and all of these gentlemen are doing the last touches. They're going through these machines. What I love about this photo is so many things. One is the machine, the desk. You can see that this gentleman has his machine, I think, upside down, but it looks like it's a flat piece of metal that you attach the machine to and allows you to rotate and get underneath of it very easily.
Oh, wow.
But these guys would spend days, and if they find an issue, they'll send it back and say, nope, not ready.
So this is their QC department, is it? Quality control?
Most likely, yeah. And plus, they probably have some knowledge in every aspect of the machine to be able to do it.
But you're right, you made a point, Colby, which is about the price. We've had a lot of discussions on here about prices because, you know, if it's rare and if it's a very special item, then yeah, it's probably worth several hundred. But in most cases, they don't yet have that value. But there's a whole lot of people out there selling typewriters that need work and overpricing them. You know, it's the ones I find here in Ireland anyway, the ones with the largest prices on them are asking prices, are generally the ones that also come with the description, not working, covered in rust, could probably do it a service. Also, it needs a new ribbon, you know.
300 pounds or 300 euro.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. And yeah, I can understand a machine that's priced at $200 if it's got a new platen in it, if it's got new ribbon, all these things add up in price. I mean, even the feet, this one, $11 a foot to get a brand new one on there.
And if you added inflation to the original price, you know, if you walked into a store in whatever it is, 1956, and bought an Olympia SM3, and you were to take that price and add inflation, you know, today, what would that typewriter cost you? You know, if the typewriter technology hadn't been made redundant by computers, Would it be $1,000? Would it be $2,000? Something like
Yeah,
that?
let's see. Like, well, let's take an example. Let's just say this model, right? What would be a cost of a loaf of bread in 1956, and what you'd pay $130, $150 retail for this in 1956?
That was a
So
lot of
yeah,
money.
it's always surprising. One thing I do want to mention, I brought up the information just so I can convince you to buy this machine if you ever find it. It's called it's got the Professional Elite 44 font or typeface on it, which is just beautiful, but also math keys, which I enjoy, like has the pi sign and a few others on this. But the one thing I really enjoy with the Olympia is that you can do a single or half space. And I think that was used for doing mathematical stuff on the machine. And so as a journaler who likes to condense my writing as much as possible, this seems like a really good machine to use for that.
So somebody said $150 in 1956. So I just Googled this inflation calculator. So 150 in 56 is about 1,600 today. 1,633.88.
But then you also have to.
I showed the that Voss that I picked up, and that was a 1956, and I had the original bill of sale in the machine, and it sold for $169. And that year, the average cost of an automobile was $1,600. So, which what we're all saying is, a tenth of the cost of auto. You had to have some money back then to.
If we were dealing with a technology like the typewriter, when comparing it to cars, I mean, we really can't because we're still using them, I suppose. But it's interesting to put into that equation how these aren't used anymore. You're not going to go into a business and find these, and so I wonder how the supply and demand might bring down that price as well.
So these are used for luxury now, and I'm not sure there's too many places left that actually use typewriters, but I guess there's some. But back then,
India, right?
I'm sorry?
Sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking that places like India still require them because they have power outages that last so long.
Well, I'm thinking like even maybe some offices have a need for a specific way of filling out forms and stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, these were used for business, so they're actually a cost part of a cost center, of creating profit. And so they were priced accordingly, and people bought them for businesses primarily. And I would think that would be more so the older they got, as you get into the 50s and 60s, people started using them for school, and they became portable and a little bit more family friendly, but still an investment. Today, it's almost purely luxury, hobbyist, enthusiast.
I have something I want to show you guys. This is, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try. This is going back to Gregory's stamp that that's why I left for a bit. I picked this up so I didn't have enough crap around my house.
I've seen this before. Is that time card?
Yeah.
Stamper? I remember using one of those.
Yep, I remember too.
So
Thunk.
What I'm using it for is when I send my letters out, those that don't contain CDs or stuff like that. And then it prints the.
Well, that was quiet. That was really quiet.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, wow.
Well,
I saw that Diane has a handheld version of one of those too.
Wow.
Gregory, yours is a lot lighter than this one.
We're using a stamp, a date stamp earlier.
Oh yeah,
or was that numeration?
Yeah, it's just a date stamp.
Nice.
That's the inside of it.
That's pretty big. Does it have to be that big?
It doesn't have to be this heavy either. It weighs a ton.
Oh,
yeah,
the
I
time
have
is
your
off.
letter here, Neil. It's like, okay, so where is this?
Well, you know what? I sent out a batch of letters, in the letters, some of them I mentioned that I was going to stamp with this machine before I sent them.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
forgot, put them all in the post office.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember seeing that. And
You'll
of course-
notice the time is off by a few minutes. That's because we're
You had
so
to
far
unplug it.
south
Oh,
in Key West. Actually, no, it's because I had to unplug it out in the workshop and haul it all the way upstairs here. So it's off by about 3 minutes. So
You can
I'm off
timestamp
by
when you
about
start
3
a letter.
months, so you can see with the edge of your letter here,
Oh,
what
yeah.
stationery you were using.
Uh,
The
And Neil,
flag.
wouldn't there be a way of adjusting the time on that, or is that?
yeah, you just it's basically like a date stamp, a rubber date stamp. You just turn these wheels right here, and it sets the time, the date, and the year. And then there's a clock, internal mechanical clock. that keeps it. So as long as you have power, it keeps it.
Oh, it's a power one. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if it's ahead a couple of minutes, you just unplug it for 2 minutes. But if you go too far, you have to wait till next year.
I was surprised it actually had the capability of going to 2000. Some of the stuff you buy, even these old date stamps, you got to watch because you can't use them any longer because the dates
Y2K.
they went out in 1987 or whatever the year was for. But
Yeah.
it's something interesting.
I thought you were
want
going
one of those. I want that. I want one like that. I'd like to find one of those. I don't
Windows
know
10.
why. I just know that I want. I mean, I used to have to use those.
Larry, I thought you were retired.
I am, but I used to have to use them a long time ago. So maybe it's like if you get captured by terrorists or something and you have to live with them a while, you start to sympathize with them. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know, but I want one for some reason. Some psychological.
My stamp only goes till 2026.
Oh, it's almost obsolete.
Well, let's see.
Of course, these are all digital now. I bought
How
this
would-
on Shop Goodwill.
Well, I wouldn't want a digital. I want one of those just because it's cool technology with mechanical parts. I'm a mechanic. I love mechanical stuff.
Like old times, right, Larry?
Yeah. I
Diane,
used to be able to relate to it. You know?
It was $10 and probably $20 to ship it, if I remember. So,
Oh well.
Diane, you're saying that the year is a single portion of stamp, like you'd have to change the whole year rather than individual numbers on the year. It's a 4-digit code.
Yeah, it's a modern one of these, so obviously you really can't. There you go, September 11th, 2022. So it's get off of my keyboard. Now you see how I spend my week, so you can see that's that's
One thing, yeah.
that's one thing.
Okay.
So it must have started fairly recently then, right? If it goes to 2026, what's the earliest?
I just bought it 2021, looks
There
like.
we go.
So it's not terribly old. Because I think before that it says PM, AM. I don't use any of these.
Is that plastic or crinkle on the outside? Is it a crinkle painted device?
No, it's plastic.
Plastic.
But anyway, so yeah, that's all it is.
So it's self-inking?
Yeah. I have something that's not, that actually is a stamp, but I use it, it's just numbers.
Oh yeah.
So I actually have a stamp pad that I use this with. Then I have another one of these things that's, it goes back a little further and it'll say paid or receipt. It'll say those things on it.
Yeah,
Approved,
fax.
urgent, blah, blah, blah.
Emailed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Charged, checked. Yeah.
Yeah, it says all those things on it.
Yeah.
Larry needs one of those.
I
wasn't
pulled
thinking
up
about that.
your typeface, and of course my cat stepped on it. Oh, okay, you said professional elite. I don't know which one you have. There's two in there. There's 10, there's 11 and 12 pitch, but anyway.
They're both nice.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, this is out of Ted Monk's SM manual. They all these Olympia ones have these typefaces in the back.
I would think that I would think that 11 CPI would be the more common one, right? Rather than 12 CPI for Olympia.
I think you're
They
right.
don't say, they just put it on there.
Okay.
I'd noticed that too, because 12s are more common to other typewriters, and it seems like all the Olympias tend to be.
Olympias prefer that 11.
That's what
Yeah.
it seems like.
Yeah.
And I always assumed it was because it was a German typewriter versus all my American Royals and Smith Coronas and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see if I can bring it up. Yeah, I did a Google search for the Elite Professional, and I got a very different result from you, Diane. Let me show this real quick.
Oh, okay.
This is what came up when I put Professional Elite 44. I don't know.
Funny.
Yeah.
Those guys will
Huh.
take forever.
Yeah.
Well, I downloaded the electronic versions of the
Okay.
several of the typewriter manuals because are typewriter books, because I find that sometimes I run out of space to have the big book sitting there, and it's like,
Yeah.
not that the iPad's much smaller, but sometimes it's easier, and I didn't have to get out a magnifier to read some of it, so I could just and blow it up.
Yeah. Since we have Colby back, there was a comment on YouTube. Oh wow, there's a lot more. Let's see, where was it? Okay, it looks like someone answered, but they were asking about your typewriter there, the SM3. I'm trying to find.
I'm using it. Yeah, I'm using an SM3. It has the single space bar. It was released in 1958. I think there's an overlap with SM3s, SM4s at the time.
Okay. Yeah, it was Chris that was
Hi,
asking.
this strange tense.
What was that? Let's see, and then also we had Dan Rubin in the comments.
Some university admins still use typewriters. How about that? I imagine that maybe I think, what is it? Places that do officiants maybe need typewriters now for sealed documents.
Yeah,
I think that's what
I
the comment
know.
was related to.
Okay.
The local repair shop, they still make business calls to repair typewriters.
Wow.
And of course, those come before everything else. They, they make sure they drop everything and they send somebody out to those. So
Yeah.
I went into my local car parts place, and I was really saddened to see that they removed their dot matrix printer, the ones that you tear off the sides.
Yeah.
Like they had that thing. I couldn't believe they still had it 10 years ago, but they had it till recently.
Wow.
Still in use.
I wonder if you can still get the paper for those.
Maybe that's why they upgraded finally.
Yeah. I still have my I can't think of what it's called. It was for my Commodore 64. I had a dot matrix printer. I still have.
Yeah, that continuous feed paper.
You tear off the sides first, and then you tear them
Yeah.
off individually.
I always found that very satisfying. You'd like fold it back and forth to make it easier to tear, and
yeah.
Oh, those were the
man.
days.
I swear the whole Apple IIe system that I had, and it had a printer attached to it. I swear it knew when I was rushed and had to get something done, and I had to print something. I swear to God, it had a brain.
Oh.
Because it could pick up on that, and I struggled to get something printed one day. It was like a physics report, and oh boy, I just about had a cow. And this was in the days of the 5 1/4-inch diskette. So
yeah,
I think the Apple Image Writer was a dot matrix, wasn't it? Seems like it.
I don't know.
And we had all that too when I was growing up. Our first computer was an Apple IIe back in '85 or so. We sold it. We sold it with the printer and all of these floppy disks at a garage sale for like $110 in 1995 or 7 or something like that. But I'm wondering now if it would have been a better option to bring it to a museum.
Yeah.
Well, then you'd have to store it till it becomes museum worthy.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like, what's going to happen to your typewriters when you're gone, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta go somewhere.
My wife will probably come in here.
I kind of hope mine don't wind up in a dump, but they probably will.
You know, if you collect enough of them,
what?
If you collect enough typewriters and you have just maybe a half an acre of land that you can be buried on, maybe you can make a pyramid out of your typewriters.
So we should all get more typewriters so we can make a full
Yes.
pyramid, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, there was this cartoon, this comic that I saw. It was funny. Well, bad sense of word. After my dad died, I saw it. But it was about this. You may have seen it before. It's this old man with a walker, I think, or something, standing next to apparently his son, and they're looking inside of a garage with the door open, and it's completely packed with a whole bunch of crap. And he's going, "Just think, son, one day this will be all yours."
Oh.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And because the timing of when my dad died, I went back to the house, and there was stuff. I mean, not like that, but I mean, there was still stuff we had to deal with. And I think now about, my house and all these little weird collections I got, and I don't know, my kids or somebody's got to figure out what to do with this stuff. And I kind of don't want to burden them with that. So hopefully I'm not too close to that being a problem, but one never knows, what's going to happen the next day. So
My sister just brought that up. I was sharing something I found at an estate sale, and she said, "Man, it's an interesting story, but I wish you'd write that down. In case something happens to you, you'd have all these stories attached to them." And my grandmother was great at that. She, you ever look at a picture and like, I wonder who, when, where, what, where? Well, my grandmother would write all of that on the back.
Yeah.
So I hope to do that too. Maybe put a tag on stuff, a little note. Goes a long way, more than just the great unknown.
that's interesting that you get that much detail. The only one I've got with a history that I can think of is this one, which I bought from some guy who I think either him or his wife used to work with a doctor that kept it in a glass case. And the doctor had either closed down or retired or died or something. And so they were selling this typewriter for like $75. And I drove an hour to go get it, and it's working good. But that's as deep as I know about the story. And I don't have, you're asking about, the history of all the typewriters. I don't know the histories of them.
I think it all has to do with where you find it. I know that from watching these videos, a lot of you go shopping and go to rummage sales and whatnot. For me, my main source is an estate sale. So you already have the story of the family that had it last right there in front of you. You can walk into their rooms, look at their library. And for this one, he was an astrophysicist, and he had, we bought 2 of those shelves, but it must have had like 8 shelves of books, amazingly deep, really scientific stuff. I'm hoping that smartness rolls off when I use this machine.
Well, you could make up your own stories and type up little index cards. This guy jumped on D-Day with this one.
Well, yeah, it
I
gets
just
to a
made that
point.
up.
I like genealogy, so it's become a habit to just concentrate on what's true rather than what might be true, really.
Right.
But my might be true story on this one is I was thinking, well, post-war Albuquerque, you know, there were a lot of scientists living in that area because of the Manhattan Project, right? So I'm wondering if maybe he worked on the Manhattan. He died a couple of years ago at the age of 88, 90 or something. So he would have been at the right age, I think. Is that right? Yeah, he would have been in his 30s, 20s, 30s during that time. So I don't know. That's just
Imagine what he typed on it.
my imagination. Yeah.
Incredible.
I don't think any of my typewriters really have any kind of provenance. The one exception would be a 60s era Royal Companion, which is, it's actually a Royalite, but they branded it Companion for some reason. But that one actually came with the little registration card, but it was only partially filled out with like no personal information. So there's not much there. The other one is one of the typewriters. I think my Olympia SM9. It has one of the dealer stickers on it, and it's from a dealer that was here in Riverside. So the fact that that typewriter has stayed here that whole time, that's pretty exciting. And I know like where that store was. It's called the Brockton Arcade, and I know there to be there at one point there was a typewriter repair shop in there, and unfortunately I haven't been able to find any like pictures or anything of it. I've done a deep dive on Google Images trying to find a picture of this store, but I haven't been able to find it. But supposedly Bob Marshall had the phone number that they last used, and I think he tried calling that number or something, and nothing ever came of it. But yeah, that's basically the closest I have to any kind of provenance. But I was excited to see that dealer sticker on there, though. That was pretty cool. So yeah.
My recent acquisition of estate sale was a Royal HH with a 16-inch wide carriage.
Oh my goodness.
So I think it's something around 38 to 40 pounds.
Yeah.
But I call that one the Devereaux because it came from the estate of a man who was a World War II vet. He's got his name around town. Like during our Memorial Day parade, he'd always be in the main float. So he's got he was a World War II fighter pilot, and apparently became quite a hero here in town because of that. But he also became the mayor of town in the 60s, and he worked at, you know, I'm from a town that's, until the 80s, lumber was the main source. So he worked at higher management at the local lumber mill. Well, this is how my mind works. I'm like, you know what? I bet I can go through the records of that company and find that typewriter in use. And so I went down to the museum and went through all the records, and I found lots of great pictures of the office he worked in, but I couldn't find the actual typewriter in use. Now that I know more about typewriters, I'm assuming that maybe his wife could have used that back in the 50s and not necessarily him.
Yeah.
Just based on the dynamics in the office. But I do like to hear that history associated with the machine.
Definitely, yeah.
Like a private investigator.
I have it in mind to do something similar, but it would, I don't know, it's even less likely to find out anything. But I was thinking I might go over to the Missouri Historical Society and see in their 1904 World's Fair stuff if they have any. I've seen pictures of the typewriter booths that were there, but I wonder if they have any other information about them. I doubt it, but it would be interesting to find out, because I've seen a Smith Premier picture, among others.
Is this the World's Fair where they created a large typewriter?
No,
like
no, that was an Underwood typewriter, and I want to say that was New York.
1939.
Yeah.
My grandfather worked at that one.
Oh, did he?
I found a little typewriter written note from his boss saying, "Please allow my grandfather in to the Missouri expedition of the 1939 World's Fair." He was a delivery guy. He had a big truck. He delivered anything from elephants to coal. But it was really cool to have that little memento from. I have no idea what he did there or what he dropped off or took. It may have been an elephant. I have a picture of him with an elephant, and there's an elephant in the actual 1939 World's Fair. So that might be it. But again, I'm the one that tries to find the facts, and there's always a little bit of story that you can't confirm.
Yeah.
I think you should do it. I think you should go down and check it out, because what's the worst that can happen? You don't find anything, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I'd love to see if they had any it's like the pictures I've seen are like an overall picture of the booth. It'd be cool to see if they had close-ups of what machines they had in there.
Definitely, yeah.
Because there's not much left from the 1904 World's Fair. They took down most of the buildings were taken down.
Where was it?
St. Louis.
So
it was over in Forest Park. The art museum, I believe that building was part of it, part of the fair. So that's still there. There are a few buildings, but not many left.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Little Columbo in each of us.
All right. Well, I think we're just about at the end here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. But thank you, everybody. This has been a blast. We've seen tons of interesting stuff today, and my goodness, you guys just blow me away. You make this so interesting. So yeah.
Thanks for hosting it. This is my first time here. It's definitely not my last.
Welcome, Colby. That's what we just at the start.
I'm not going to be here for a while, but I will be back.
Excellent. We will look forward to that. We're here almost every Sunday, so.
What's he saying? Would I hold up those SM3 washers so he can get a screenshot? Well, yeah, they're in the other room.
Okay.
Have to wait for Gregory to post it.
Huh?
You have to wait for Gregory to post this video.
No, he wants to get, yeah, I guess he could do that too, but then he's got to like scroll through it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you said 3/8.
Let me just do it. I'm going over and getting them. It's easier that way.
Exactly. I don't mind waiting a couple minutes, so. Yeah.
I'm trying
All right, and there it is.
2132s.
Yeah, they're kind of weird, but I bet you can probably use something different size. Anyway, there's a number on there.
Those are helpful though, so he has a lot to go with there.
So
Ken is in the library, so he hasn't been able to join us with audio.
Yeah, they come in a pack of 10. So
okay.
I figure they're great for there's a barcode.
There you go.
Yeah, they're great for SMs. I actually did try to put them on the SG because I looked underneath there just out of habit, and it's like, yeah, those look like they're kind of I mean, do they affect the SG as much as the SMs? No.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. Well, he says he got it. So
okay.
He thanks you, and I thank you for doing that.
Oh, sure, no problem.
You're always very helpful for us, Diane.
I'm glad I can have help to somebody,
Of course. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you next week. And Colby, you're going on vacation or something, right?
Yeah, I'm taking off for a while to go to Utah. I'm bringing.
Utah. Yeah.
My royal quite deluxe.
Excellent.
And 35 or medium format camera. So yeah, I'm going old school.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, enjoy.
Thank you.
I hope you
Excellent.
find a typewriter there.
I know, huh?
I think I'll stay out of stores when I'm down there.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. See you, everybody.
Thank you
Pleasure.
so much, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next time.
It's long before.
Bye.
Bye.